When it comes to crash repairs and motor bodywork, trust the experts at Prestige Motors Ennis. We specialise in all types of motor body repairs, with quality workmanship you can rely on. All insurance work handled directly. Your car, your choice. Proud to support local GAA. Best of luck to Doora, Barefield and Éire Óg in the county final. From all at Prestige Motors Ennis.
For driveways, patios, curbing, line marking, tar and chip, or brick and block work, call the experts at Keltar Tarmacadam, Ennis. Covering projects nationwide, quality guaranteed. Call 086 196 1618 and check out our TikTok to see our work in action. Keltar Tarmacadam, paving the way across Ireland.
For expert car servicing and repairs, visit David Custy Auto Repairs, Doora, Ennis. Quality work, trusted service and great value every time. Call 065 684 0612 or 086 818 7408. David Custy Auto Repairs, keeping Ennis on the road.
Refresh your home with Ennis Blinds, specialists in blinds, shutters and curtains designed to fit your style and your space. Ennis Blinds are made with quality, comfort and tailored for the perfect finish for every window. Call us on 086 811 7373. Ennis Blinds, made for you right here on your doorstep.
NC Paint and Decor. Whatever your decorating needs are, paint, wallpaper or expert colour advice, we've got you covered.
Our island home, its waters blue and endless green, inspires colour like no other. Colour Trend paint is crafted in Ireland and designed for durability. Visit your local stockist or store for colour inspiration. Colour Trend, a world of quality in every colour.
Custom sportswear and workwear by Barefield Sports in Ennis and Shannon. From clubs and schools to local businesses, we design quality gear that looks sharp and lasts. Barefield Sports Ennis and Shannon, custom made for your team, your work, your game. Call us now on 061 364 750.
Martin Williams Concrete Products Limited is a family-run business based in County Clare, Ireland, specialising in precast concrete solutions for a wide range of industries. Over 2 decades of experience. Established in 1998, they actively listen to customer needs and continuously research innovative ways to improve their offerings. They have a strong local reputation for reliability and customer service, deep knowledge of the building sector, which they're happy to share with clients. If you're working on a building or landscaping project and need durable, locally made concrete products, they might be worth checking out.
Here's wishing every good luck and best wishes to all the great players from Éire Óg, Doora, Barefield and Clooney Quinn in the upcoming county finals. Best wishes to all.
For over 35 years, Rory Hickey Electrical has been lighting up homes, businesses and industries across Ennis. From domestic and commercial to industrial projects, our trusted team delivers safe, reliable electrical solutions you can depend on. Rory Hickey Electrical, lighting up the town of Ennis since 1986.
Timmy Dooley, your Fianna Fáil TD for Clare, now serving as Minister of State at the Department of Agriculture, Food, Fisheries and the Marine, with special responsibility for fisheries and the marine. From climate action to transport, Timmy has a proven record of representing Clare at the highest levels, always working to deliver for local communities. Timmy Dooley TD, experienced, committed and delivering for Clare.
Tommy Guilfoyle, living in Clare Castle, raising a family and working every day in our community. As a trade unionist, GAA coach and active volunteer, Tommy stands up for workers' rights, better housing and stronger local services. Tommy Guilfoyle, a councillor who believes in people, community and respect for the responsibility to serve. If you need assistance, please do contact me.
Building with quality and trust. That's NS Construction. Founded in 2001, NS Construction brings over 2 decades of experience in refurbishments, extensions, fit-outs and large commercial builds. We pride ourselves on finishing every project to the highest standard, on time and on budget. NS Construction. Craftsmanship, reliability and results you can build on.
Welcome to the Temple Gate Hotel, 4-star luxury in the heart of Ennis, just steps from the bustling town centre. Relax in beautifully appointed rooms where comfort meets charm and experience true Irish hospitality at its finest. Savour local flavours in the Legends restaurant or enjoy the cosy atmosphere and hearty fare of Preacher's Pub. Whether it's a romantic getaway, a family celebration or a special event, Temple Gate Hotel is the perfect setting for every occasion. Temple Gate Hotel, your home in the heart of Ennis and your gateway to Clare and the wild Atlantic Way. Book your next stay or celebration at www.templegatehotel.com.
Welcome here to Zimmer Biomed Park Keystone for what is the culmination of the 2025 TUS Clare Senior Football Championship. It's Éire Óg and St. Joseph's Doora Barefield, but much more than just a derby because there's a lot of history involved over the next hour or so. You've got on one side the defending champions, an Éire Óg team that have won 4 or aiming for a 4th title in 5 years. And then on the other side of it, you have St. Joseph's Doora Barefield. Not since 1898 were they the champions of Clare, but they'll be hoping to change that particular statistic this afternoon. I'm delighted to be joined here on co-commentary by Kieran Madigan. And Kieran, from the outset, the atmosphere, county final, it's one of those occasions that is unmissable stuff, isn't it?
It is. There's a great buzz around the place, and there was a big crowd in for the intermediate final as well. Great curtain raiser to have before the game. And look, you've got 2 neighbouring parishes going at it today, and obviously the freight train that is Éire Óg and how well they've been doing the last few years, and then you've got the underage kingpins in Clare, I suppose, in Doora Barefield coming to try and take their crown today.
Yeah, and we were speaking actually in the last week in the lead up to the hurling final. Whoever was going to win it was going to be the 12th team in 22 years to win a Clare Senior Hurling Championship. You flip that over to the football side of it, and you'd have to go back 54 years. So if Doora Barefield win it today, they'll be behind the 12th winner in 54 years. It just shows, on one hand, for Éire Óg, you have to keep winning while you're on top. And then on the other side of it, for Doora Barefield, what an achievement it would be to break into that, let's say, the top 12.
Yeah, it would, and I suppose that's the way Clare football goes. Teams tend to get dominant spells. Kilrush, I suppose, in the 70s, and then you had Doonbeg in the 80s and 90s. Kilmurray Bricken came on and had a good period of dominance in the early 2000s into 2010. Cracklow and Milltown won the 3 championships each as well in that time. So teams kind of tend to come along and maybe win a few championships, and it's a while since we've had a new team come along, and obviously Doora Barefield, with all the success they've had at underage, they're trying to break into that top bracket now, and it would be a massive achievement if they were able to do that.
Just listening during the week there, because you have Éire Óg, who obviously are going for a 4th title in 5 years, so they have been the dominant force over the last 5 years really, and then you have St. Joseph's Doora Barefield, are probably that the next wave coming through. Éire Óg in 2019 and all that couldn't get past the quarter-final stage until they made that breakthrough. You can see a lot of similarities in the Doora Barefield side of things, can't you?
You can, yeah, and I suppose they're a younger team. They've they're backbone by their under-21 success from last year. And look, there's 3 major competitions in Clare football that you can win. There's the under-21, the intermediate and the senior. And while we'd be saying Doora Barefield are coming into this maybe without that success, most of those players have 2 of those championships. They have an under-21 and they have an intermediate one as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The coin toss is there at the moment. Niall Quinn is just stood up there between Aaron Fitzgerald and Darragh O'Shea. Be interested to see how that particular battle goes, and that automatically goes to Doora Barefield. So it looks like they're going to play towards the Aldi goal, which I suppose is a strange, there isn't much conditions here today. The wind hasn't been like Storm Amy last weekend was a dominant force. So going from the first game, how was the wind really a factor on it?
I don't think it's too much of a factor at all, because obviously in the semi-finals, it was really affecting the free takers. But I was down on the pitch beforehand. Now there isn't very, very little sway in the breeze, and I don't think it's even going to affect the kickouts or the free taking too much today. It's just who can hold their nerve and who can not panic, and we saw in the intermediate game that there was some very scoreable frees missed, and I do put that down to maybe nerves and the occasion, and it's just who settles better really.
Well, speaking of the nerves and the occasion, the parade is one of those things that you talk to people after a county final, and they say the parade was the difference. In, you know, they played in front of big crowds. A lot of these players have played underage for Clare, maybe even senior level for Clare. But the parade, the occasion, the walking around, soaking it in. Some people get lost in the pageantry of the whole thing. So this for Doora Barefield now, you know, this will be something completely different. Whereas for Éire Óg, as you can see with all the kids and all that, they're very, very relaxed.
Yeah, they are, and you know, 5 or 6 of them actually walked in the parade last week in the hurling final, and obviously that will stand to them. You know, they're well used to it. It is all new for Doora Barefield, and when you come to a day like this, you're out on the pitch earlier, the warm-up is that bit longer, then you've got the parade, you've got all this stuff to go through before you can actually get the game, and it's how players handle it. I remember looking at Gavin Cooney last year in the parade, and he was smiling and looking into the crowd, and it didn't affect him at all, and players handle things differently, and you know, if Doora Barefield can settle into it with without the nerves taking hold, that'll be a big factor in the game, and they just want to get a good start in this game and get a good hands on the ball and work it through the lines, and you know, an early score would be vital for them just to settle them down.
No, absolutely, and we mentioned already Éire Óg are going for that double. It's 96 years since the Ennis Cashans actually what made it through and won the double that time. In 1898, when St. Joseph's Doora Barefield won it last, it was the Doora Rapparees against the Ennis Cashans. And I don't know about you, Kieran, but I like the sound of those names. I don't know why they changed them to St. Joseph's Doora Barefield and Éire Óg, to be honest. The Ennis Cashans and the Doora Rapparees. I mean, you don't get any more unique than that.
It sounds like two tribes going to war in those old names. But look at Éire Óg are looking to create history today. They're looking to win the double. They're also looking to create another little bit of history because they're joint top of the Roll of Honour in Clare Senior Football with Kilrush on 21 titles each. If they were to win today, they will go clear at the top on 22. And obviously, Doora Barefield are looking to create history of their own, you know, when it's so long since they last won one. So at the end of the day, today, someone is going to have rewritten history, and I think that's going to be massive.
And just the last thing on history is, as just the parade goes round there by the shed side of it, you know, you have an Éire Óg team that are going for a 4th title in 5 years, but there also is the Fogs factor. You know, this is unique. You don't see teams that have played in a final so recently anyway, as the Fogs won one in 1994. They're one of the aforementioned 11 or 12 that have already won it in the last 40 or 50 years. So there is that unique factor that these players won't know about, but there's a lot of history involved, and the Jubilee team that were down there of 2000 will definitely know all about the Fogs that helped both teams to become senior forces.
Yeah, and I suppose it shows how far both clubs have come in 25 odd years. Both teams were operating at intermediate and joined together to go at a senior championship, and obviously were successful and won it. And then, you know, Éire Óg won their intermediate championship, and Doora Barefield followed likewise. And now they're established senior clubs in their own right. And, you know, 20 years or 22 or 3 years isn't a long period of time to build that success that they have done, and the fact that they had to join together all those years ago, it's massive testament to the work that's been done at underage, that they're now, you know, here as the number 1 and 2 team in the county.
Yeah, and just a word on the referees. We saw Gary Toomey in the last county final in the intermediate between Corofin and Clare. We want to wish our congratulations to Corofin. We don't know if it's an omen for the day that the team in red and white were the winners, but like, you had a new referee coming in there, but when the big occasion comes, you need a steady hand, and I don't think there can be a more steadier hand than Niall Quinn in the man in the middle from St. Joseph's Milltown.
No, definitely not, and he will be definitely regarded by most people as the best ref in Clare football. You know, what he does very, very well is he communicates well with the players. He explains his decisions, and you know, he keeps up with the play, and he's very, very consistent. I think he's been the best ref in Clare football now for the last 6 or 7 years, and you know, he's a man you would want in the middle today, because I think he will let the game flow, and you know, we should get a good quality game of football.
Yeah, just we're going to touch on the matchups and the big jewels of the entire game in a few minutes, but we're just going to deal with the teams now, because just as the teams are coming around here by the band, there's a bit of a flare in the background as well of the red and white, just as there was last week. But for Éire Óg, there's only one change from the 1 to 15 that is named in the programme, and that's number 23. Ronan Lanigan comes in for Colin Walter Loughlin, who unfortunately went off about halfway through that semi-final last time out. In goals is Cian Howard, a full back line of Darren Maroney, Aaron Fitzgerald and Dean Ryan. A half back line of Kieran Russell, Gavin Doria and Manus Doherty. A midfield pairing of David McNamara and Darren O'Brien. A half forward line of Gavin Murray, Luke Pine and Oren Cahill, and a full forward line of Ika Maguire, that Ronan Lanigan and Mark McInerney. And you can be guaranteed Ronan Lanigan isn't playing at full forward either. On the St. Joseph's Doora Barefield side, a lot easier because they're just named 1 to 15, but the big news from that is that Fionn Kelleher, their county senior, is back in. He missed the semi-final against Cracklow, but is back in the side. You'll notice him straight away because he is quite heavily strapped there on his left leg. But their team is Tom O'Brien in goal, a full back line of Owen Boyle, Dara O'Shea and Fionn Kelleher. A half back line is James Curran, Conor O'Brien and Keane McDonough. Midfield pairing of Michael Nash and Odrin O'Connell. The half forward line is Liam Clune, Owen Pine and Joe Rafferty, and the full forward line of Tom MacDonald, Tom Curran and Paddy Bugler. And Kieran, just we're going to get to national, but I thought I'd get in a dual question before. We'll deal with that afterwards, but we'll just have the national anthem now with the St. Patrick's Tulla Pipe Band. Well, we are ready to go here. Tom O'Brien has gone into the goal at the Cloister side. That means that St. Joseph's Doora Barefield are playing against the conditions, or whatever conditions there are, that they are blowing towards the Cloister end. We're ready to go here. Will it be the famous double for the first time since 1929 for Éire Óg, or will it be a single party in that St. Joseph's Doora Barefield for the first time since 1898? Ika Maguire and Tom MacDonald are the ones to go for the throw in here, and Niall Quinn is ready to go. Now, who is going to take it? Will it be Éire Óg or St. Joseph's Doora Barefield? There's players moving all over the place, and we can see a familiar pairing, Kieran, in the midfield pairing of Ickham and Mark McInerney, but neither of them actually playing midfield for a finish.
They're only going to be there for the throw-in, and Ickham has actually won the throw-in.
He has, but it's Fionn Kelleher that picks up possession, more importantly, and it's a first touch for Tom MacDonald as he gets that ball away to Michael Nash, and it's Doora Barefield that built from the start. They're rookies at this stage, but they're certainly looking to make an impact from an early stage. One of those, and they call him a rookie because it's his first year at that level, is Liam Clune. He gets the ball back off to Michael Nash, and here they build again. An important, Kieran, just for St. Joseph's Doora Barefield, get their foot on the ball, get some time, possession to try and get into this game and kind of settle themselves into what is a huge, obviously, occasion.
Yeah, we'd be expecting them to play with serious pace when they get going, but I think it's vital in the early stages just to get as many people handle the ball as you can, and maybe try and work a favourable shooting position and try and get an early score on the board. But that's what they're doing. They're working the ball through the lines and trying to make a cut.
Well, and it could be a cut here from Tom MacDonald. Can he get the first score of the final? Oh, it's just going to tail to the right and wide, and for a moment there it was a big opportunity, Kieran, because it looked like he had the goal wide open in front of him.
Yeah, he'd be a little bit disappointed with that. He got an awful lot of height on the shot. 25 yards out, you would be expecting, the way Tom has been kicking in the last few games, that you would have been expecting him to take that chance. But look, they've pushed up on the kick out, and they're pressing high on Éire Óg, and Éire Óg are trying to work it along their full back line.
What are you expecting from, say, Joseph's Doora Barefield to do? Obviously they're firm underdogs in this, and it's kind of like almost like a David and Goliath situation, that in terms of experience anyway.
Yeah, I think they have to play to their strengths, and they have to use their pace and go at them at full speed, and when time allows, to put some direct ball into the likes of Tom Curran inside, because I think if they play with a slow type of build up, you're playing into Éire Óg's hands, and they'll turn you over and counter attack you at will.
Well, they're not going to be able to counter attack on this occasion, because Niall Quinn says go back, you're going to have to take this from the old 65, but they have the ball in their hand, the champions, and it's Darren O'Brien. that gives it off to Kieran Russell, and Kieran Russell will be one of those players that they will be looking to lead, just as he did in the hurling final 7 days earlier. Here's another a dual player in David McNamara. He gets it off to Ike Maguire, and there's a line of red here. Kieran Russell looking for the ball inside to Luke Pine. Luke Pine has it. There's a mistake. Oh, he's put it wide. Oh, Lord. And there was a clash of heads here. There was it looks like a bad injury, but just confusion, and the whole thing opened up for Luke Pine, but he didn't score.
Yeah, it really opened up. And what Éireog have done in the first couple of minutes is they've switched 3 times in the full forward position. Darren O'Brien went in there at the start, and Luke Pine found himself in there on that occasion, and Kieran Russell picked him out with a fantastic ball, and the two Doora Barefield defenders just ran into each other, and Luke Pine was through one-on-one and tried to drill it into the right-hand post and just dragged it wide of the post, and he'll be very disappointed with that, because that was a real gilt-edged chance to get a goal on the board early.
I'm not sure if he was distracted by the two guys hitting each other and falling to the ground, because Cian McDonough took an awful hefty blow, and there was worry about him for a second there, and Niall Quinn looked to call up, but he didn't even have to go off the field there. But Luke Pine may be distracted by that. Maybe it was inadvertently worked out well for St. Joseph's Doora Barefield, but it's definitely a let-off. Can they capitalise on that let-off is the question. Tom MacDonald goes to ground, but Niall Quinn says play on, and Kieran Russell gets it off to Gavin Murray. Gavin Murray checks back. He's been hassled by Michael Nash. There's no free for David McNamara either, and Éireog are going to have to work for every ball here, because there's a high press on from St. Joseph's Doora Barefield. It's their first final since 2012, so they're going to have to make the most of it here. Kieran Russell has been on a lot of ball so far in this game. He gets it off to Oran Cahill, who in turn feeds Gavin Murray, and it's back to Russell. Russell can certainly take a point. He's got 8 in the championship, make it number 9 for him. 4 minutes into the game, and we're not surprised to see Kieran Russell get a score.
No, he's raided up the field all throughout the championship. He's having one of the years of his life in the Éireog colours. He's playing brilliant football, and it's no surprise with the leadership he shows that he comes up and pops up with the opening score to settle them down, I suppose, especially after missing that goal chance there a couple of minutes ago.
Yeah, Tom O'Brien now. He went for Tom MacDonald the last time. He's going to go a little shorter this time around. Clever move. It's out to Cian McDonough here on the left wing. Cian was looking dodgy there for a second when he got that clash of heads. It looked like initially from that Luke Pine chance, but anyway, he's back at his feet, and St. Joseph's Doora Barefield are relieved. St. Joseph's Doora Barefield, it must be said, are trying to find their feet in this final as well. Here we go. It's Odin O'Connell. He was a score. And I thought for a second that Fionn Kelleher suffered a relapse of his injury, because he went down kind of awkwardly there for a second, but it gives Éireog an opportunity to counter-attack, and one team you don't want on your case is Éireog, but Barefield doing very, very well to win back the ball. Owen Tyne off to Cian McDonough. Dara O'Shea gets it off to Fionn Kelleher, and Fionn Kelleher has that bit of experience in the back, Kieran, doesn't he? That he's a huge boost for them in this final.
Yeah, it's a massive addition getting him back in there today. 4 weeks since he went off with that injury, but he is very, very heavily strapped, and hopefully he will be able to see out the game, because he's a big player for them.
Another big player that just came back into it was Tom Curran. He gets it off to James Curran, and what can they do here now? Because Paddy Bugler has the ball. He's got off to Tom MacDonald. He's just inside the 2-point arc, but they won't mind that if he's able to put it over, and he certainly is. It's just inside the 2-point one, but they'll take any score just to settle him down. You can hear the roar from a crowd, and it's 1-1 here in the final. They needed that score, especially I think Tom MacDonald needed that score after missing the first one.
Yeah, I think that was huge for Tom MacDonald, and he had the confidence to, he wasn't worried about the miss a couple of minutes ago. He took on the shot, probably a more difficult chance, and an excellent finish from him.
Speaking of excellence, man, Astarty making his way out from the full back line. He was under pressure. Oh, there's a bit of a clip there. Niall Quinn says, not really. They're giving a line ball. I thought Darmer only took a hefty challenge there illegally, but anyway, play has gone on, and it's Dara Shea, a brilliant ball over here to Cian McDonough, and he certainly was full of running in that second half against Cracklow. One of the real leaders for them in what was a crucial breakthrough in their semi-final. And now, in this final, what can they do? It's Michael Nash on the ball. He's just around the 65-metre line. He's got Owen Tyne here for help. And outside of him is Tom MacDonald. He's going to go the other direction. He's going to find Cian McDonough again. And Éireog are quite happy to be patient and bide their time and then pounce when they're on the counter.
That's the way they do it. They reset inside the 45 and they wait to turn you over, and they attack at serious pace. And I've been watching what they've been doing up front. This is the 5th different player they've put into the full forward position, and they're really interchanging and pulling the Doora Barefield defenders all over the place, because Mark McInerney has now gone in. Ickham was there just before him, and it's just chopping and changing all the time, just trying to drag players out of position.
And the two most forward players were the midfielders at the start, as we mentioned, Ickham and Mark McInerney, but that's just the way it rolls. And it's Cian McDonough. Can they go in the lead for the very first time? Oh, off the upright. It might be something here. Oh, O'Connell. He has scored. He got a bit of luck, but my God, did he make the most of it. He's limping out, but he'll accept that for what a goal. And he's just an opportunist strike.
You know, if we could have wrote the script for the game on, this is exactly what you would have wanted. A good start from Doora Barefield. They've settled into the game. They're working the ball nicely. The opportunity there for a point came off the post. Odin O'Connell following up, and a fantastic finish into the top corner of the net. A really, really brilliant start for Doora Barefield.
Well, if any man has a knack of getting goals, it's Odin O'Connell. He got one in the semi-final. That was the one that really kick-started St. Joseph's Doora Barefield's challenge. And what can Erogue respond with? Well, look at this from the captain, who's going to lead them all the way. Aaron Fitzgerald off to Mark McInerney. Can they have a response? It's going to be a 2-point effort from McInerney. Oh, that is beautiful. Just absolutely beautiful. You know, what a response from Erogue.
That's what champions do. You know, they didn't panic. As you said, Aaron Fitzgerald coming up the field, joining in, and getting their shooter, the main man on the ball in Mark McInerney, and a fantastic 2-point effort. Because, you know, there's a little bit of pressure on Mark today, having lost Colin Walsh-Loughlin, the other scorer-in-chief for the Erogue team. He's a massive loss. 4-14 kicked in the championship up to today. So they will be looking on Mark to get the big scores, and he's certainly popped up with a massive 2-pointer there.
Yeah, and luckily another person to pop up is Odin O'Connell. He's popped up off the ground now. Shun McNamara giving him the magic water, and he's back in the field. And after such a goal, he'll want to play every minute of this final, because it's St. Joseph's Doora Barefield. There's no fear here. They're going to attack their neighbours from the outset. Joe Rafferty, their top scorer, gets it off to James Curran, and James Curran finds Tom Curran. What an impact he had. And can he do it again? Oh, it's a bit wild. He was going for the 2. It was a little bit ambitious, it must be said. But Liam Clune, can he get something out of this? He's been hounded by Kieran Russell. He gets it off to Paddy Bugler. Paddy Bugler's on the edge of this arc. Can he get one inside? He's got 9 from 2-point threes. He's not going to add to even a single at this stage. Paddy Bugler getting only St. Joseph's Doora Barefield second wide. But what a fantastic boost. And I think the final itself, Kieran, you know, there's a lot of talk about Erogue, the double, 4 titles in 5 years, but I think the final needed St. Joseph's Doora Barefield to get an early start like that.
Yeah, I think it's exactly what we would have cried out for. You know, it's a very good start from Doora Barefield. Obviously shows that the nerves aren't affecting them. While they might have respect for them, they have no fear of them, and they've torn into them, and it's a very good open game so far, and hopefully continues like this.
Yeah, the 4th meeting of the neighbours this year alone. Now, Erogue have been the victors on all occasions. They were after extra time in the Cusack Cup final. Maybe won't go to that today, that's for certain, because after 60 minutes, if the teams are level, there will be a replay. There's loads of time until Munster, so there will be a replay. There will be no extra time like the Cusack Cup final. Anyway, we're a long way from that, even though there is only a point between the sides, because it's Darren O'Brien on the ball. He gives it off here to Mark McInerney. We've just seen him score a 2-pointer. He's after doing a complete pivot here. This would be a brilliant score if he could put it. He'd served it with his left. Oh, that's off the post, and it goes wide. And that just shows the contrast in luck. One goes off the upright at this side and gets a goal. That one goes off the upright and goes wide.
Yeah, and you know, to be fair, that move actually deserved a score. The swivel he did there, he sold 3 Doora Barefield players and left them in his wake, and you probably would have expected Mark to finish it, but just a little bit unlucky coming off the outside of the post and drifting wide.
Oh, and Dara Shea there was surrounded by 2 men. He was quite grateful to get to hear the sound of the whistle to make sure that he got a free out. And here we go. It's Conor O'Brien. He's raiding down the right wing. He's got Luke Pint for company, but Kieran Russell says, you mark the man behind him. I'll cover here. Just the orchestrating the defence. And St. Joseph's Doora Barefield, they're going in a tight little space here, just in front of their own dugouts. Their manager, Donna Vaughan, is looking on here. He'll be delighted with this start, and be delighted with this man in particular, Odin O'Connell, as he gets it off to Owen Tyne. And Owen Tyne, one of the instrumental guys, he's impacted in the semi-final at both ends of the field. Michael Nash, the hero from the quarter-final against Kilmurray Brecon. And another one of the heroes here in Tom Curran from the semi-final, as Cian McDonough picks up possession. He was the one that had the shot to hit the post for that goal. Now, what do they do here? Darragh O'Shea has come all the way up from full back. Can he add the score? The joint captain, he's going to have to turn back on this occasion. And he's going to find Paddy Bugler. He had a wide just a few minutes ago. Now, can he get off to James Curran? James is going for 2. Can he get 2? It'll fall short. Oh, it's just taken from underneath the crossbar by Cian Howard. His first final, and he'll love the fact that he was able to settle in with a catch like that.
Yeah, it was a good catch because he caught it over the crossbar, and James Kern very unlucky, and he's a really good kicker, and I would have fancied him for the 2-pointer there, and it would have been a big score for Doora Barefield. But look at Eroga under counter-attack now.
They are, and it's Darren Maroney, another one of these famed dual players. He's going to put it inside here for Oran Cal. He isn't a noteworthy goal scorer, but maybe Ickham is. Oh, off the post with the back post flick. Oh, they've had no luck with the woodwork so far. Mark McInerney off the upright, Ickham Aguero off the post, and he just got a little bit of a flick to it, but very unlucky there.
Yeah, I definitely thought that was going to end in the back of the net. It's the look so far has been with Doora Barefield. We've had 3 shots come off the post. Doora Barefield have managed to get a goal out of it, and Eroke have racked up 2 wides from it, but that was a great opportunity, a fantastic counter-attack, and Darren Maroney instrumental in it, and Ickham on the end of it, and it really looked like it was going to nestle in the bottom corner and just skinned the outside of the post and drifted wide.
Well, I'm glad to see that the sceptics that were predicting this might be a cagey final are wrong. We've had 3 goal chances in the first 12 minutes. 2 of those for Rogue. The ball hasn't hit the net. St. Joseph's Doora Barefield, much more scoring efficiency, and look at this for a run from Ickham Aguero. He's slalom through. He wouldn't be a noted point scorer, but he's changed that today. That is a superb score, and he deserved that one. There's no doubt about it. 2-2 before this for the championship, make that 2-3.
Yeah, and Ickham doesn't actually take on a lot of shots for points, and maybe if he hadn't had that opportunity for the goal just previous to that, he may look for someone to lay it off to, but I'd say he was a bit annoyed with the one that came off the post, and he decided, I'm going to get a score for myself. That was a fantastic finish on his wrong side, going away from goal, and he finished it lovely.
Yeah, level for the second time in this absorbing contest, 14 minutes into it. Who's going to win the scramble here? There's a lot of red jerseys while the blue are on the ground, and it's Darren O'Brien that's going to try and push forward. Darren O'Brien off to Luke Pine, and Luke Pine just slowing things down, assessing their options, and giving it back to Ronan Lanigan here, who came back in from the starting position for the semi-final. Only his second start, but look at that for a ball through. Beautiful for Oran Cal here. Can he finish with a score? Can he put Aero back in front? Yes, he can, and what a score. And just, it's like we worried, maybe if you get an early goal, you kind of poke the bear or provoke the champions into it, and it looks like Eroge had the perfect response.
Yeah, I mean, Doora Barefield probably settled the better of the 2 teams at the start, but Eroge have kind of thundered back into it now. That goal certainly shake them from their sleepy start, but they're well in control now. They're attacking in waves and with serious pace, and getting 4 different scorers on the board with their first 5 points of the game.
Yeah, and the last 4 of those have been without reply, so 4 points in a row for the Townies. What can the parish do to counteract that? If anyone's going to do it, is Tom MacDonald. He got them off the mark with the first score of the game. James Kern just with that 2-pointer. I suppose the James Kern 2-point effort in particular just showed there is a bit of a breeze here. That kind of held up in the breeze just enough for Cian Howard to get, whereas normally the prevailing wind goes through the LD and you'd expect that one to go over. Yeah,
maybe a little. It might have held up very slightly. It isn't a huge breeze, but when you get these chances against Eroge, you're going to have to take them, because you're not going to get as many chances as Eroge are going to get, and you have to be very efficient with your shooting. Yeah,
and Tom Curran had a bit of work to get away from Garen Murray. He's got the advantage anyway, so he may as well have a pop at this, and pop he does, but that's not going to reach the target. It does allow them to have a free in. It's probably a little bit outside the range here. I know Paddy Bugler is good, but I don't know if he's going to be that good to try and kick this one. So they're probably going to need a short one, or else lob it in around the square, because they have targets.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to try and work a short one here, because it is probably outside of the range. But I wouldn't be lobbing it in. I'd try and keep possession of the ball and try and work a shooting chance. But it looks like Paddy Bugler is actually going to have a go.
Well, doesn't lack confidence anyway. He's got 9 2-point frees in the championship. No other player can match that. Now, he didn't get any in the semi-final, but he certainly has the record. Shane Daniels is saying that was a little bit further out, and to be fair to him, it was, but that doesn't add to the drama, so that's not going to reach it. Or maybe it does, because for a second there, it looked like Liam Clune was going to catch the ball, but it did drop short, and it was a little bit outside the zone. And still we waited. Look at this. Gavin Murray gets it off now. He's not going to get at that. That's a bit of a Champions League fall from Gavin. Oh, but Aaron Fitzgerald was looking to get in behind to Mark McInerney. But that's where Fionn Kelleher was, and that experience made sure that St. Joseph's Doora Barefield have their hands on the ball again. And it's out to the aforementioned Paddy Bugler. He took the free and now he's back in his own half back line trying to build again because St. Joseph's Doora Barefield had a great start, but they're now trailing again. They're going to have to start all over again and try and dismantle this Aero juggernaut, really. Now, Dara O'Shea bombing forward. He had a little look to see if there was 3 behind him because you kind of forget about these things in big finals, but he at least he had the foresight to actually think about it. Tom O'Brien here. He's outside the arc. Gives it off to James. James back to Dara O'Shea, and they're going to have to be a little bit patient here, and that's what Donovan, the message he's given into the pitch here. Don't take anything on rash. Owen Tyne wouldn't be none of the noted shooters, so can he get a ball inside? He's going to win a free anyway. Go for it at least. Surely that's not going to reach the target, or will Liam Clune be on again? No. And Niall Quinn is going to bring it back for the free, much more like the range this time around.
Yeah, it's a much more scoreable free, albeit probably on the wrong side as well for Paddy Bugler, but he has certainly the capability of scoring them from this side. And I think Doora Barefield need a score now at this stage. You know, they've gone a good period of time without getting a score. It looks like Tom Curran is actually going to take this one, but it'd be a vital one to get on the board for them, and that's good use of the advantage. You know, when you know you've got the free, you've got to get the shot off, and you know if it doesn't work, at least you can come back for the free.
Yeah, you can have an absolute kamikaze effort at it. Doesn't matter where it goes because you still have the free. Tom Curran looking for his first score, 2-point free. Now, what can he do with it? And that's not going to be on target, unfortunately. And now, since the 7th minute, St. Joseph's Doora Barefield haven't scored since that goal in the 7th minute. That was 11 minutes ago. So from having the perfect start, it is Aero that have dominated the last few minutes, and that's another wide, the third for St. Joseph's Doora Barefield. And they don't, as you said, they nearly need to be scoring all of these, so they don't want these wides to add up.
Yeah, because once Aero get their hands on the ball, as we can see here, Dean Ryan winning the kick out and giving it to Manus, and they're breaking free now at serious pace.
Yeah, and Manus getting off to Oran Cahill, and Oran Cahill off to Mark McInerney, and Mark has a bit of a point to prove after his last one came off the upright. Oh, he's absolutely perfect jink on James Curran. He doesn't win a free. There's a bit of a roar for the crowd, but it's St. Joseph's Doora Barefield that do get their hands on the ball, and it's Conor O'Brien bombing out of it, and he's got Michael Nash for company. He gives it off to Owen Tyne, and it's Paddy Bugler actually, and he's going to get it back here to Fionn Keller, and they're going to have to be patient again and build from the back. They're only a point behind, but they haven't scored since that 7 minutes, so they're going to have to make sure they get a few on the board because they don't want this game to get away from them either. And Joe Rafferty is one of those that can turn the game, and he's going to be on the ball here again because he's played a 1-2 with Keane McDonough. What can he do from here? He's going to play inside. Oh, it's a goal! You can't believe it. This is unbelievable stuff, and I can't believe it. What a goal, and it's Odin O'Connell again. He is just a master at this thing.
That's just unbelievable, Ona. And that came from a turnover. Mark McInerney threw a dummy. He was about to shoot, got turned over, and a fantastic break from Doora Barefield. And a player like Joe Rafferty that hasn't seen much of the ball yet, being central to that move, and it fallen to Odin O'Connell again. And another fantastic finish. And it's really game on here now.
Game on is right. When they needed a response, they got it. And that kick out goes over the line to a huge roar from the parish support. Odin O'Connell with 2 goals, and to think that he was down after the first one, we thought he mightn't even carry on. Well, he's certainly made a massive, massive impact here. And it's Tom Curran now. They are in the ascendancy. They're 2-point clear. This wasn't part of the script, but they're looking to shred the script because here's Odin O'Connell again. He can do no wrong at the moment. Gets it back to Michael Lash, and Michael Lash is going to go for the 2. It's going to drop short, but it goes to Liam Clune. Liam Clune just across the face of the goal, but just goes harmlessly wide.
But Owen, what Doora Barefield are doing is they're running at the heart of the Aero defence. No other team has done that in the championship so far. Aero had only conceded 2 goals in the whole championship up today, and that was in a group game against Kildysart that they still won fairly comfortably. We were saying that Keane Howard hasn't really had much to do bar his kickouts, and his kickouts have been very good. He hasn't had too many shots to save in the championship, but the defence has been open up in front of him there today a couple of times, and it's fantastic stuff from Doora Barefield.
Yeah, great little touch there from David McNamara off to Oran Cahill, and Aero have to start building again. And look at this, Cahill has the ball again. Can he take a point? He's going to put it back here to Mark McInerney. McInerney has a bit of a jab, actually. It was a strange looking shot, and it's gone wide, and things are starting to go against Éire Óg, and this is uncharacteristic. They're not used to this game.
Yeah, they're certainly not used to trailing in games and having to chase, but I don't think they'll panic. You know, it's not in their makeup. I'm sure they'll settle down again, but you know, that was a rash shot from Mark. It's not something you would expect from him. They responded to the first goal very well. They kicked the next 4 points, and we just have to see now how they're going to respond to this latest setback.
Yeah, Tom O'Brien has gone out to the right here. That's where James Curran and Ronan Lanigan are. Lanigan gets a huge punch to it. Can Luke Pine keep it in? He can, using his soccer skills, and the family obviously big up in the Turnpike Rovers. Now it's Odrin O'Connell. He's doing his job at the back after scoring 2 goals up the other end, and still down are Owen Tyne and Luke Pine, but they're back on the field and back on their feet as well. And it's Fionn Kelleher that's going to build again, and St. Joseph's Doora Barefield, we spoke about they hadn't scored in 13 minutes. Well, they certainly, when they do score, they make an impact, that's for certain. Joe Rafferty setting up that goal for Odrin O'Connell, and it's Michael Nash now that bombs forward. He had a 2-point effort only a couple of seconds ago because the confidence is high here. Tom Curran getting the ball. He's got to face the captain in Aaron Fitzgerald, who times he's tackled, but look at that from Curran. He's able to hold on to possession. He's looking for to assess his options, really. He's going to find Darragh O'Shea, but is that going to be intercepted? Kieran Russell absolutely threw his body on the line, and there's nothing here. Looked like he got to the ball before Darragh O'Shea, but he didn't win a free anyway. He's not happy about it, but Niall Quince's play on. And it's St. Joseph's Doora Barefield. It looked like everyone stopped there for a second.
Yeah, I think they thought it was going to be a free, but Niall signalled it was 50-50. There was no free either way, and a good chance here now for Doora Barefield.
Absolutely, and it's that man Joe Rafferty. He set one up a second ago. Can he get a score? No, he can't. Just gone to the right and wide, and it's a 5th wide now for St. Joseph's Doora Barefield. They won't mind that because they are in the lead, but you want to make sure you keep that scoreboard ticking over at all times, especially against such an experienced team as Éire Óg. But you can see from the kick out, there's no easy option here for Keane Howard. They're gone man to man here, St. Joseph's Doora Barefield. They're not going to sit back and just do damage limitation. They're going for the jugular, and it's a good ball in from Liam Clune just into the corner to Tom Curran. He's got a little bit of work just to keep the ball in, but can he get the ball into his hand? He can, and he's taking on Aaron Fitzgerald, who does a great defensive duties there, and he makes sure that Éire Óg are back on the ball. And it's Darren O'Brien now. Darren in his own half back line. He's got a lot of blue around him, and they've dispossessed him. Liam Clune has dispossessed him, and it's come off to Tom McDonald. Tom McDonald to Joe Rafferty. This will be an inspirational score if it goes over. It's not going to go over, that's for sure. It's just gone to the right and wide again. It would have been a great score to get, and an important one, you'd have to say.
Yeah, it would be, and they really need to kick a point at this stage. I know they've got 2 goals, and that's fantastic, but 1 point kicked in 25 minutes of a county final, they'd be very, very disappointed with that. Joe Rafferty is one of those shooters. They want to get on the ball. He's one of their main marksmen, but he'd be very, very disappointed with that effort, because it was a great, initially after Aaron Fitzgerald turning over Tom Curran, that Doora Barefield turned them back over again and made the shooting opportunity. And as you said, it would have been inspirational, and it's very, very disappointing to see it drifting wide.
Yeah, and look at that. Darren O'Brien getting his hands on the ball. And now it's Éire Óg that haven't scored in 11 minutes. Funny how things work out sometimes. They could do no wrong there for a while. But now, can Dean Ryan change that? The man of one of the most experienced players, but he only has 1 county medal in his back pocket. And that was from this time last year. He'll be looking to add to that tally now, and for Éire Óg, a 4th title in 5 years is the prize on offer, but they're going to have to do a lot of work here if they are to get that. Here's one of the newest players that has no medal in his pocket. Darren Maroney gets it off to David McNamara. McNamara, now there's 5 minutes to half time. Éire Óg will be looking to repair the damage. They're only 2 down. They won't be panicking, but they have the conditions at their back. Off to Darren O'Brien. Darren O'Brien, he's going to have a pop of this from 2. Will it come in time? It's not going to come in. It's just gone to the right and wide, but worth the effort, Kieran, you'd have to say.
Yeah, definitely. And Darren O'Brien is a very good shooter. I know he's playing a deeper role this year. He was kicking long-range scores from them all throughout last year. And look, he was their match winner in the quarter-final against Milltown when he scored that fantastic goal to finish off that game. So he was well entitled to an effort, and it just drifted wide. And yeah, it's kind of gotten a little bit scrappy now, and some of the shooting hasn't been of the standard we would expect there in the last maybe 10 minutes.
Well, when it lacks in scores, it certainly makes up for an excitement. That is not going to do them any favours, St. Joseph's Doora Barefield, because it went straight out over the line. Manus Doherty, what have Éire Óg in the tank here just to finish the half? They won't want to go in. It'll probably be the first time in a long while that they've gone in trailing at the break. And Kieran Russell, one of those to try and lift the side. He gives it off to Ronan Lanigan here on the right wing. Ronan Lanigan has a little bit of space in front of him, but he's soon going to be tackled by his marker, Tom Curran. And Lanigan does get it off to Ickham Aguero. Ickham has already got a point. Gives it to Luke Pine. Luke Pine had to duck the challenge there. And now to Darren Moroney. Darren Moroney, they're going to have to be patient if they're going to get a score here, because St. Joseph's Doora Barefield are very, very structured. And you can hear Owen Troy shouting out they have many different calls and different names for things like that for their defensive structure. They're going to have all hands to the pump here, that's for certain. And now Kieran Russell, he got the first score of the entire game. He gives it off to Luke Pine, who should have got the first score, you'd have to say. He gives it to Darren Moroney, and Darren Moroney, can he get his first score of the final? No, it's gone to the right and wide. And it just isn't working out for Éire Óg at the moment. It's a fourth wide for them, and it doesn't. Shane Daniels is going to have to do a bit of repair work here at halftime.
Yeah, and I think Doora Barefield are very, very disciplined in the tackle. You know, they're not diving in, they're not giving away any scoreable frees to the likes of Mark McInerney, which obviously is a giveaway score if you do that. And you know, certain players from Éire Óg are being kept quiet in the game so far. Ickham, has been in and out of the game. Luke Pine, they're not getting them on the ball enough. They're defensively, Ronan Lanigan, Manus, Kieran Russell getting on plenty ball, but they're struggling to get the main attacking players into the game.
And they're struggling to get the hands on the ball here as well, because 2 attempts there between Gavin Murray and Darren O'Brien, and they couldn't pick up the ball. And look where Tom Curran is. He was out underneath that kick out there. So they're not afraid to move players around and kind of keep Éire Óg guessing as well. And that is not a great one from James Curran that's gone out straight out over the line. We're into the last 90 seconds of normal time. Be interested to see how many additional minutes there will be. There was only a small hold up there when Keane McDonough was down after that Luke Pine early goal chance. So how many minutes are there? Mark McInerney is going to win a free here. He just got ahead of the ball with Fionn Kelleher, and it does give Éire Óg the opportunity here of a 2, which would be a perfect solution for them just to get back on level terms. But every score is hard earned here for Éire Óg.
Yeah, there's no easy scores being given up, and that free there didn't seem a whole lot in it, but it's a massive penalty to give away a free there, and you've got Mark McInerney well capable of kicking a 2-pointer here, and if he does, he levels up the game, and it's a really, really exciting contest, and scores are so hard earned. And this is probably the first scoreable free that Éire Óg have got.
Yeah, well, it will be a vital one, that's for certain. Can he level it up for the third time? He can. It's almost straight over the black spot. Absolutely dead centre, and it does mean that Éire Óg are back on level terms. 7-2-1, and that's a second 2-pointer for Mark McInerney. They certainly need him. Now, let's see what the last remainder of the half will bring now, because we're waiting for the board to go up here to see how many minutes of additional time are going. There's 30 seconds here. Now Tom O'Brien has gone out right here. There's 3 blue jerseys, and one of those, Dara O'Shea, gets the ball down, but it's broken to Ronan Lanigan. He's getting it off here to Gavin Murray. Murray to Ickham Aguero. Can Ickham Aguero punish them here? He's had a shot. It's saved. Darren Moroney. Darren Moroney saved. It's gone wide. Oh, Lord God. Kieran, that just opened up for him there, and there's no better team in the country than Éire Óg.
That was some passage of play there. Ronan Lanigan did absolutely fantastic to turn over the ball, and the one player Doora Barefield wouldn't want to have seen on the ball would have been Ickham coming through, and he fancied his chance. He had a shot, and Tom O'Brien did brilliant to get a strong hand in it. Darren Moroney following up with the rebound, and the ball just drifting wide. It was a gilt-edged chance for them, and maybe Darren might have been better off to maybe fist the ball over the bar, but I suppose it's easier to be wise up here.
Yeah, he just kicked wide, and it's a 5th wide for Éire Óg, but a let off a 3rd goal chance for Éire Óg, and they haven't taken any of them. Meanwhile, down the other end, St. Joseph's Doora Barefield, 2 goal chances, 2 goals. That's what this county final is all about. We're now into the last 20 seconds of this opening half, because there was 1 minute of additional time indicated. We're now only seconds away from that whistle, and it's Darren O'Brien playing it out here to Kieran Russell. Can there be one more chance for them to try and pull away? Niall Quinn says no. The double party's on hold for the moment. He says you can go in on level terms, but certainly Both sides will have taken this, Kieran, because Erogue were trailing for long periods at half, and St. Joseph's Doora Barefield against the Rees wanted to settle into this final.
Yeah, look at as you said, Doora Barefield would have been delighted at this at half time, and they really look happy going in. But Shane Daniels is outside there; he's high fiving these players, you know, because they've settled back into it, and they haven't let the game get away from them. As I said, that's what champions do, you know. I do think they're lacking a bit of scoring threat with Colin Walsh-O'Loughlin not being in the side today, and there's a lot of pressure on Mark McInerney's shoulders to get the scores, but he has kicked two fantastic 2-pointers to bring them back on terms. But they have created goal chances, and maybe if Luke Pine had got that goal in the early stages, it might have been a different game. But you have to give credit to Doora Barefield; they really settled into the game. Odin O'Connell with two fantastic goals, and massive work rate from the likes of Tom Curran and James Curran and Tom McDonald as well, you know, and a really, really exciting half of football, and that's what we wanted, a good solid contest and an exciting county final. Yeah,
the Derby spoils are still up for offer, and that's for certain. We're going in here level at the break. Odin O'Connell's 2 goals have been ensured that the scoreline at half time is St. Joseph's Doora Barefield 2-1. Erogue 7 points. It's all to play for in the second half of the TUS Clare Senior Football Championship final for 2025. The young players are coming on to show their skills at half time. You look forward to the highlights and join us again for the second half in just a few minutes' time.
When it comes to crash repairs and motor bodywork, trust the experts at Prestige Motors Ennis. We specialise in all types of motor body repairs, with quality workmanship you can rely on. All insurance work handled directly. Your car, your choice. Proud to support local GAA. Best of luck to Doora Barefield and Erogue in the county final.
Thanks, Owen, and delighted to be joined here at half-time by Derek Dormer. Derek, your impressions of that first half?
Well, if you'd have told me it would be level at half-time, that's the first kind of shock. I mean, Erogue came in overwhelming favourites. And I suppose if you'd have told Doora Barefield they'd only scored 3 times in the opening 30 minutes and still go in level, they'd be happy. So it's in the melting pot, it really is. Like, it's probably lacking a bit of quality, but the occasion, you know, it's a county final. Nerves are going to play a part. There's been a lot of wayward shooting, but it's been entertaining, and you can hear the gasps of breath every time Barefield break through. So, you know, for that one, it has been entertaining. While lacking in quality, it still has drama, you know.
The first goal from Odin O'Connell, it was a great finish, very, very sharp for him as well to be switched on when the ball came back off the post.
Yeah, and again, fine margins. I mean, you go 90 seconds earlier, Luke Pine should have really scored. Do you know, open goal, kicks it wide, goes down the field, it comes off the upright, and you're beginning to wonder, is this written in the stars for Barefield? Because he rattles the net, and like, they don't score for 13 minutes, and then he rattles the net again. In the meantime, Erogue hit the post, Ike Maguire flick off the post, couple of wides, and you know, it's in that sense, it's so tight. I still think Erogue are the team to beat, but Barefield are in this game.
We can see Erogue are a bit rattled. I'm not going to say they're completely rattled, but they're a bit.
Well, they are, and you could hear it from where we are in the media box as some of the substitutes that they weren't happy with a couple of decisions. Whereas I thought Niall Quinn has refereed this game impeccably. Like, you're not getting a soft free, get up, get on with it. Erogue weren't happy, but I, as a neutral, I thought he's done a fine job. But they do seem to be a bit panicky. Some of their shooting is off 7 wides. Some of them very uncharacteristic. A couple of missed goal opportunities. But the thing is, they are kind of dominating restarts. Tom O'Brien is struggling unless Barefield can get it out short and quick. Erogue do seem to win the long restarts. However, Barefield will have to win in the second half, so it's still in the melting pot, Peter.
And I suppose if you're involved with Barefield, first job was to get to half time still in the game, and they're definitely still in the game.
that's it. And like I was out doing previews with Barefield and Air Oak, and the one thing Barefield did say was that Air Oak haven't had a tight game, been in a battle, whereas Barefield have came through the quarter-final and semi-final eking out these tight wins. And for them, they said they just wanted to bring it down to the closing championship, the 10 championship minutes as I call it, those closing minutes where games are really won. And if they feel, if they're in there with 10 minutes to go, that Air Oak haven't experienced that in quite some time, and that might be enough to get Barefield over the line.
The bench could be pivotal as well, and we know how strong Air Oak are. That could be a factor.
Yeah, and I'd imagine they'll use all 5 substitutes, and I have seen Gavin Cooney is back. We know he's back. He's already warmed up twice. Some of their forwards, and I won't be name dropping, haven't been on song. Shane Daniels will not hesitate, to go to the bench, and that could swing it in Air Oak's factor. And if they do raise a green flag, you would worry that they could kick on. But for now, we have a 50-50 county final, and in front of a larger crowd than I thought, which is good for Clare football. Good that there's a crowd here, good that the game is competitive, good that it's still in the melting pot.
And just finally, Derek, call it.
Yeah, you can't. You can't look beyond Air Oak. You just can't, because in the blink of an eye, they can do something. Their transition from defence to attack is what's most impressive of any club team I've seen in the county in quite some time. They can sit in, but when they overturn that ball, they're gone, and gone in numbers, and they do create opportunities. They have Mark McInerney kick a 2-pointer. They will get a green flag. It's Ken Barefield. Barefield only 1 point kicked, 1 white flag, and that was the opening score from Tom McDonald. They'll need to up it. They do have the wind. They can kick 2-pointers, but Air Oak to push on in the third quarter for me.
Thanks indeed to Derek Dormer. We'll have a full second half coming up, and
When it comes to crash repairs and motor bodywork, trust the experts at Prestige Motors Ennis. We specialise in all types of motor body repairs with quality workmanship you can rely on. All insurance work handled directly. Your car, your choice. Proud to support local GAA. Best of luck to Doora, Barefield and Air Oak in the county final. From all at Prestige Motors Ennis.
For driveways, patios, curbing, line marking, tar and chip, or brick and block work, call the experts at Keltar Tarmacadam, Ennis. Covering projects nationwide, quality guaranteed. Call 086 196 1618 and check out our TikTok to see our work in action. Keltar Tarmacadam, paving the way across Ireland.
For expert car servicing and repairs, visit David Costiauto Repairs, Doora, Ennis. Quality work, trusted service and great value every time. Call 065 684 0612 or 086 818 7408. David Costiauto Repairs, keeping Ennis on the road.
Refresh your home with Ennis Blinds, specialists in blinds, shutters and curtains, designed to fit your style and your space. Ennis Blinds are made with quality, comfort and tailored for the perfect finish for every window. Call us on 086 811 7373. Ennis Blinds, made for you right here on your doorstep.
NC Paint and Decor. Whatever your decorating needs are, paint, wallpaper or expert colour advice, we've got you covered.
Our island home, its waters blue and endless green, inspires colour like no other. Colour Trend paint is crafted in Ireland and designed for durability. Visit your local stockist or store for colour inspiration. Colour Trend, a world of quality in every colour.
Custom sportswear and workwear by Barefield Sports in Ennis and Shannon. From clubs and schools to local businesses, we design quality gear that looks sharp and lasts. Barefield Sports Ennis and Shannon, custom made for your team, your work, your game. Call us now on 061 364 750.
Martin Williams Concrete Products Limited is a family-run business based in County Clare, Ireland, specialising in precast concrete solutions for a wide range of industries. Over 2 decades of experience. Established in 1998, they actively listen to customer needs and continuously research innovative ways to improve their offerings. They have a strong local reputation for reliability and customer service, deep knowledge of the building sector, which they're happy to share with clients. If you're working on a building or landscaping project and need durable, locally made concrete products, they might be worth checking out.
Here's wishing every good luck and best wishes to all the great players from Éire Óg, Doora, Barefield and Clooney Quinn in the upcoming county finals. Best wishes to all.
For over 35 years, Rory Hickey Electrical has been lighting up homes, businesses and industries across Ennis. From domestic and commercial to industrial projects, our trusted team delivers safe, reliable electrical solutions you can depend on. Rory Hickey Electrical, lighting up the town of Ennis since 1986.
Timmy Dooley, your Fianna Fáil TD for Clare, now serving as Minister of State at the Department of Agriculture, Food, Fisheries and the Marine, with special responsibility for fisheries and the marine. From climate action to transport, Timmy has a proven record of representing Clare at the highest levels, always working to deliver for local communities. Timmy Dooley TD, experienced, committed and delivering for Clare.
Tommy Guilfoyle, living in Clare Castle, raising a family and working every day in our community. As a trade unionist, GAA coach and active volunteer, Tommy stands up for workers' rights, better housing and stronger local services. Tommy Guilfoyle, a councillor who believes in people, community and respect for the responsibility to serve. If you need assistance, please do contact me.
Building with quality and trust. That's NS Construction. Founded in 2001, NS Construction brings over 2 decades of experience in refurbishments, extensions, fit-outs and large commercial builds. We pride ourselves on finishing every project to the highest standard, on time and on budget. NS Construction. Craftsmanship, reliability and results you can build on.
Welcome to the Temple Gate Hotel, 4-star luxury in the heart of Ennis, just steps from the bustling town centre. Relax in beautifully appointed rooms where comfort meets charm and experience true Irish hospitality at its finest. Savour local flavours in the Legends restaurant or enjoy the cosy atmosphere and hearty fare of Preacher's Pub. Whether it's a romantic getaway, a family celebration or a special event, Temple Gate Hotel is the perfect setting for every occasion. Temple Gate Hotel, your home in the heart of Ennis and your gateway to Clare and the wild Atlantic Way. Book your next stay or celebration at www.templegatehotel.com.
And the two teams are ready to go. They're eager to get on with it here. It was a stalemate in the opening half. What is the second half going to bring? Because the ball is thrown in between the familiar pair of Vicky McGuire and Tom McDonald. And it's Vicky McGuire on the ball. Éire Óg had the time to regroup at half-time and managed to get their house in order. Just going to have a look through the scores here as Éire Óg welcome a free here in the opening. And Tom McDonald down with kind of a worrying injury. But anyway, we'll go back to the score here. Mark McInerney with 4 points for Éire Óg. Both of those being 2-pointers, one from a free and one from play. Kieran Russell, Ika Maguire and Oren Cahill with the other 2 scores. And then on the St. Joseph's Doora Barefield side, very simple. Tom McDonald got the first point and Odrin O'Connell getting 2 goals. 3 goals in 2 games for Odrin O'Connell. Yeah, you can't beat that kind of a strike rate, Kieran.
Yeah, he certainly timed his run. He hadn't scored up to the semi-final, got a goal in the semi-final to clinch the game for him, and 2 goals on county final day. He's on a hat-trick here today, so you never know. But look at, they're going to need to get the likes of Tom Curran, Joe Rafferty, Paddy Bugler involved in the scoring stakes if they're going to have a good chance of winning this game, because you can't rely on keep getting goals, and obviously 1 point isn't enough to have kicked in the first half of football. And I expect a big response from Éire Óg in the second half now, because I do think that they're going to go at them at serious pace and see what that Doora Barefield defence is made of. But so far, they've been defending very, very well. Fionn Kelleher is his injury seems to be holding up well. He's playing very, very well as well, as is Dara O'Shea. So, let's see what Éire Óg are going to come at them now, and I would expect a response from the champions.
Yeah, well, Tom McDonald is up. He's gingerly kind of moving about here. Looks like he's lower back. That was the issue. But anyway, the game goes on because it's Éire Óg on the ball, and Kieran Russell got the first score of the opening half. Can he get the same again? No, he's going to leave it off here, and it's back to Mark McInerney. He's their top scorer, not just today, but in the entire championship so far. He's got 331 to his name, and this is his 6th game of the entire championship. They have won 25 championship matches in a row. Can they make it 26? Well, at the moment, they're finding it difficult just to get past their neighbours in St. Joseph's Doora Barefield here. They're going to have to be patient if they are to do so. But they do have experience on their side. And it's David McNamara that picks out Gavin Murray, and they're going to have a go at it here. Look inside there. Look at the groupings, this man-to-man marking. Ike Maguire breaks away, but it's Mark McInerney that gets the ball from Murray. He shrugs off 2 defenders. He's going to get a free anyway. Can he get it off here to David McNamara? His left foot. He puts it over the bar, and it's the first score of the second half. And David McNamara wouldn't be a noted scorer, especially with his left foot, but he certainly threw his leg at that, and it goes straight over the bar, and it is Éire Óg back into the lead again.
Yeah, that was a fantastic, well-worked score from Éire Óg. I was just looking in the build-up there on Tom McDonald looks in serious trouble to me. He was trying to chase back, and he was definitely limping and holding his hand to his side as well, and we'd be hoping that he'd be able to shake it off in the next couple of minutes, because if he was to go off, he would be a massive blow to Doora Barefield.
Yeah, well, Doora Barefield have a free here, and then he was tackled as he was going forward on time, so it means that the free is going to be brought forward all the way around, and Anligan just losing his discipline for a moment, and it's an opportunity for St. Joseph's Doora Barefield here to have a 2-pointer and go back into the lead. It's been that type of game. It's been seesaw all the way, and we're still looking at Tom McDonald because he is struggling at the moment here, and you can see he is visibly shook by that injury.
Yeah, and there's a discussion going on the line, and there's the substitute warming up as well. It looks like he may not be able to shake it off. He's struggling even walking there at the moment, and he did ship a heavy knock, and it seems to be his ribs or his side. He's holding there, and he's a big player for them, big in height, and a big value player for them as well.
But this is a good kick. Going for 2-point free, number 10 in the championship, and he gets it, and it takes Joseph's Doora Barefield back into the lead again. Every time Éire Óg kick a score and go back in the lead, St. Joseph's Doora Barefield are able to reply, and no better man than Paddy Bugler to get his 2-point freeze into double figures here, and we're off again because Éire Óg have to respond again. But if there's anyone going to do it, it's going to be the champions. And Darren O'Brien racing forward here, gives it off to Kieran Russell. He's inside the 2-point arc, gives it off to Mark McInerney. Mark has got 4 already so far in the game. That's just look like it's going to drift out to the left and wide, and is the first wide the second half, and a 7th overall for Éire Óg. And won't be panic stations too much, Kieran, but you would expect maybe Mark to have scored that.
Yeah, he'll be disappointed himself. It's his second one from the right-hand side going away from goal. Probably not his strongest side, but they are creating the chances. I suppose that's one thing that they will be happy about, but just some of the shooting is leaving a little bit to be desired at the moment.
Fergal O'Brien says it's a St. Joseph's Doora Barefield ball, and they're having that bit of luck at the moment. Dean Ryan did very, very well to hold off his marker and the ball, and his marker being Paddy Bugler as they get underway again. Éire Óg have it. Manus Doherty. We haven't seen those surging runs from the back so much so far, but we have seen a counter-attack at the moment because it's Oran Cahill giving on to Kieran Russell. He's seen plenty of ball. He's got Liam Clune for company here. He gives it back to Mark McInerney, and McInerney tried to get onto that left foot, but that the St. Joseph's Doora Barefield defence were expecting it. Now David McNamara gives it to Darren O'Brien. Darren O'Brien had a 2-point effort in the first half, but it's much more difficult in the second when they're against that conditions here. Ronan Lanigan, they're a point behind. Éire Óg not used to trailing in any game, not to mind a final, and they want to win this one now. They suffered defeat in the semi-final in 2023, and that broke their unbeaten record, the 3 in a row. But look at Ike Maguire, an opportunist one. He looked to be held as he was going through there, but got nothing out of it either. Niall Quinn says play on, and St. Joseph's Doora Barefield relievedly come away with the ball as Conor O'Brien has it. He can settle back down because he has a man inside him. That man being Owen Boyle, and Owen Boyle getting it off to the double goal scorer in Odrin O'Connell, and they build again because here's Cian McDonough, and Cian McDonough on the ball. One half back line, gives it to Dara O'Shea. We remember the run that he made for the opening goal for Odrin O'Connell in that semi-final last time out here against Cracklow. Now, Fionn Kelleher didn't play in that semi-final, but is back when they need him most in the final. Joe Rafferty has the ball. Now, what can he do with it? Because he's after making great ground here. Gives it off to Nash. Nash is going for 2. He scored the winner against St. Kilmurray Brecon. He's got 2 again here. And St. Joseph's to Barefield are absolutely flying at the moment, Kieran.
Yeah, that's a fantastic 2-pointer from Michael Nash. And he probably kicked the best 2-pointer I saw in the championship against Kilmurray Brecon in the quarter-final when he threw a dummy and put one over the bar. That's a brilliant score that he's after putting over there. But I do think Doora Barefield need to make this substitution with Tom McDonald, because he's obviously not right. And, you know, the longer they leave him on, I think the worse it's going to be.
Yeah, they were hoping he'd shake it off, but he doesn't seem to be doing that, and they're down almost to 14, you'd have to say, at the moment, but they're certainly doing all right for a team that's down to 14. They are 3 points clear of the champions. This now we'll see what the champions medal is all about. They won the hurling last week, but it won't be much good if they lose this one today. It's Darren Maroney on the ball. Can they get a score here? They're vital to try and get one. They got the first score of the half through David McNamara, but have since been pegged back by not just one, but two pointers. One from Paddy Bugler, one from Michael Nash. And here we go. It's Aaron Fitzgerald, the captain. Can he lead by example here? He took a bit out of it now, but that's quite an ambitious effort. It's not going to go, though, because I think it's Gavin Murray that's underneath it. The ball drops down. Is there a push? No, the ball's gone wide, and he's saying get up, play on. And nothing seems to be going right for Erogue at the moment.
Yeah, and I suppose it comes from the fact that because they've come through the championship fairly unscathed, comfortable wins in every game, they haven't been put in a position where they've had to chase a game like they have today. So look, at this will show the mettle of them. And look, they won't do panic. They've got a good panel. They've got plenty of options on the line as well, and there's plenty of time to go in this game. But it's not going right for them at the moment. And Doora Barefield are defending very, very well. And anytime Mark McInerney gets on the ball, they're showing him onto his right foot away from goal and making his shooting options very, very difficult. Mark wants to turn inside onto his left, and he's not getting much opportunity to do that so far.
Yeah, you can see that St. Joseph's Doora Barefield have a lot of homework in Erogue, and why wouldn't they? They've played them already 3 times. So far between the QC Cup and the Championship, and this is number 4, so if you haven't learned by the 4th game, you never will learn. Now Erogue put to the pin of their collar here. What have they got in their locker to be able to respond? Because not only are they 3 points behind, but they can't find it hard even to get their hands on the ball. Tom McDonald didn't have the pegs there to try and match his marker, Dean Ryan. Dean Ryan winning a vital ball there and winning a free to boot. Now it's looking like Donovan says we have to take him off, and he's right. The message has gone down there, but meanwhile Erogue had the ball. Oren Cahill, there was a slip from Tom O'Brien. For a second there it looked like that ball could easily have slipped in. Ike McGuire, he's given decisions given against him. It looked like for a second he had dispossessed Tom O'Brien, but it's going to be a free out to St. Joseph's Doora Barefield. And small bit of luck there for the parish, because Tom O'Brien first slipped and then Ike McGuire dispossessed him. There was a small bit of panic there at stages, and Tom O'Brien is down now as well.
Yeah, he seemed to get caught in the turf as he was coming through. It was a nothing ball that was coming in, but he slipped and could quite easily have ended up in the net. He did very well. He got up and got the ball, but Erogue now are going to the bench. They're going to bring on Jack Joyce and Jarla Collins. They're not going to wait too long. They see things aren't working, and they're going to make changes, and it looks like Luke Pine is coming off.
Yeah, it is Luke Pine, and it's going to be Jack Joyce replace him on the team here. And it's interesting to see that Erogue are making the changes, but Tom McDonald is going to get another 5 minutes apparently. So Donovan says, and Jarla Collins is coming on for Darren O'Brien here. So can these changes make the difference for Erogue? They're 3 points down here. 2-5 to 8 points. Tom O'Brien, hands on the ball. He's just waiting for Darren O'Brien to go off the field. Meanwhile, Tom McDonald says, give me 5 minutes, and he's going to get it on the Doora Barefield side. And to see how these different contrasting tactics in terms of substitutions works out. Dara O'Shea under a little bit of pressure here from the new man in Jarlath Collins. He did a fine job when he started the hurling final. He's won the ball back as Ickham is played in. Kieran Russell across the square. Mark McInerney cannot secure it, and the ball slips away from his grasp, and Fionn Kelleher scrambles the ball away, and Cian McDonagh gets it off to McDonald. Now what has McDonald got in his locker, because he has been struggling so far, but he does his bit to try and get relieved the pressure here, and Owen Tyne has plenty of pace as he rights go down that left wing and secure possession. And look, they're away. James Curran off to Michael Nash. Nash got that 2-pointer just a few minutes ago, gives it off to James Curran. James Curran is Joe Rafferty and Michael Nash outside of him. They get that ball off here on the right wing. Now Let's see, Michael Nash for a second thought about another 2-point effort, but he thought the better of it. He saw the headlines there for a second and just said, I'll give the ball off to Tom Curran. Let's settle things down. There's plenty of time left on the clock. We're 3 points to the good. We don't need to panic here. And here we go with Cian McDonough. Cian gets it off here on the left wing to Paddy Bugler. Paddy Bugler just inside the 2-point arc. Pulls it back for Owen Tyne, and Owen Tyne makes that little break. He's got Jack Joyce around him. Is he going to win a free? He is going to win a free, and it's an opportunity to put 2 scores between the sides. This is not the script that Éire Óg would have hoped for at the start of this game.
No, and you know, whatever little bit of luck is falling Doora Barefield's way at the moment. There was 3 possible goal chances for Éire Óg there in the last few minutes. The one that dropped short, Ickham had an opportunity, and then the ball came across to Mark McInerney, and he just slipped it at the vital moment. And Doora Barefield are after breaking, and they're after winning a vital free there from Owen Tyne. And look, Joe Rafferty puts that ball over the bar and puts 4 points between the teams.
He does, and it's Joe Rafferty's first score. You know, you'd expect that if St. Joseph's Doora Barefield are going to be leading this game, that Joe Rafferty would be to the centre of that, because he has been their top scorer. 3-16 before this in the championship. Now make that 3-17, and it puts 4 points between the sides. Éire Óg now have a bit of work to do to try and get back into this game, and it's Jarlath Collins that's leading that, one of the substitutes that has come off the bench to try and arrest the damage that has already been done. It's 2, 6 to 8 points. 8 scores each, but of course 2 of those being Odrin O'Connell goals for the parish. David McNamara scored the first point of the second half for Éire Óg. They lead a score badly here to try and even hold on to possession, because that was a beautiful little interception here from Owen Boyle, but Éire Óg still have the ball. It's Ronan Lanigan unfortunate to give away that free for the 2-pointer for Paddy Bugler. Now it's Jarlath Collins has his hands on the ball to Darren Moroney. Had a goal chance in the opening half, but there's not really many options inside the arc. But one of those is Aaron Fitzgerald, the captain, who's come up from full back. Now Jack Joyce, will he have a go for it? He certainly will, not lacking confidence, and that is a beautiful score. And 2, you're talking about a guy playing his first county final, Kieran, and pops up just off the bench, you know, barely had his hands on the ball and has the confidence to go for 2.
Yeah, he comes on full of confidence. He's a really good player. He's only played big parts throughout the championship. Had to kick 4 points before today. That's a vital 2-pointer to get them back into the game. And, you know, that's what you need from your bench. Players coming on and making an impact. And fair play, Éire Óg. They saw that things weren't working. They made 2 quick substitutions, and they're back in the game.
They are back in the game, but they don't have their hands on the ball here. Will they look back, and that 2-pointer has been a turning point of sorts, because they were desperate and it was hard to see where the next score was coming from for Éire Óg just for the last few minutes, but they've managed to arrest that. Their first score in 11 minutes, and there's a wide ball down here. Is the luck changing for Éire Óg? Tom MacDonald just having a first wide of the second half for St. Joseph's Doora Barefield, and now that substitute is about to be made. They gave him as much time as they possibly could, but Tom MacDonald here, who has been one of their leading lights for many a year, is going to have to succumb to that leg injury. And he's going to have to come off here just at the turn of the final quarter. It's unfortunate for him, but it is an opportunity for Nicky Hardiman to try and make an impact, just as Jack Joyce did just a couple of minutes ago. Ball kicked out by Cian Howard. It's up here between Dean Ryan and Liam Clune. Neither of them will be noted fielders, but it is Dean Ryan that broke it down for Jarlath Collins, and Jarlath Collins getting it off to the captain, Aaron Fitzgerald. He leads from the front. He certainly always has by example. Mark McInerney getting it off to Ickham Maguire, and Ickham Maguire still has his hands on the ball. Is he going to fist it over the bar? He certainly is. That's a great score from Ickham. He got one with his foot. He's now got one from the fist as well, and suddenly, Kieran, they're starting to motor again. They're only a point behind.
Yeah, second point of the game from Ickham. A fantastic tackle from Owen Boyle to dispossess him, but Ickham went through again and won back the ball and took the right option, fisted it over the bar. Wouldn't be a noted scorer, as we say, but he is playing a more advanced role this year. That's his second point of the game, and it's a massive score to bring it back to a 1-point game.
Yeah, 2-4 from Ickham throughout this championship, and another bit of work goes Éire Óg's way. Now they have a bit of the wind in their sails, if it isn't at their backs, because that's going towards Doora Barefield. But Éire Óg only a point behind. They were 4 behind not so long ago, and they're suddenly the worm is starting to turn a little bit here. Oran Cahill, they're now full of running. You can see an extra pep in Éire Óg's step here as they enter this final quarter. They've been down this road many times before. Kieran Russell kind of hits a hopeful ball inside. I don't know if he's going for a score or not, but Mark McInerney almost got afflicted. Tom O'Brien kind of just flicked it clear really, and it was an unusual effort. I don't know if it was a delivery or a shot here, but he just kind of seemed to stroke it up in the air.
Yeah, I think he was trying to hit Mark McInerney long. Tom O'Brien came, and I kind of got the feeling that it may have bounced over him, but he did the right thing. He held his ground and just got a hand to it and batted it away.
Yeah, Manasardi here. It's a great little battle he's had with Tom Curran. It's gone out for a 45. It might be in the corner, but it's going to be another opportunity for St. Joseph's Doora Barefield, who have the breeze at their back to have a go with that. Tom Curran is still down, and there's another substitution here. It's Aidan McGrath that's going to come on the field here for Darren Maroney. 47 minutes in, and Éire Óg made their third substitution. They're not afraid to run the bench here. Guys with plenty of experience, and Aidan McGrath being one of those, was away for a while, now back on the panel and now back on the side. He comes in for Darren Maroney here for the remaining, you'd imagine, at least 15 minutes, if not more. But it's St. Joseph's Doora Barefield that still have the advantage, albeit the minimum. Now, Paddy Bugler, as kicks go, it would be a really, really crucial one. He's kicked 10 two-point frees over the course of this championship, but this 45 that might only mean one would be certainly a significant score. Is he going to wait here for Tom Curran? It's only a leg injury, so they're going to say play on. Yeah, they're going to go for it, and Tom Curran is back in the field. Now, Bugler, he's in front of the Éire Óg bench almost. Could be a crucial score if he was to get it. It's certainly going to land around the square for definite. It wasn't the greatest of touches there. It's going to fall perfectly. There's a bit of he's Liam Clune is caught for over carrying there. But for a second there was a goal chance here. Like he was never going to get a clean shot at it, but when the ball broke initially, it wasn't the greatest of touches coming out of it.
No, and Éire Óg wrapped him up very, very well, and he wasn't able to move either direction or even get a hand pass away, so he was always going to get pulled for over carrying. And I suppose it's kind of a rule that, you know, it doesn't give much advantage to the attacker. There isn't much he can do.
Yeah.
But, you know, unfortunately those ones always seem to go in the defender's position. But that was a very, very tough kick for Paddy Bugler. I didn't think he would have had the opportunity to score. It was right out in the sideline, but look, Éire Óg coming out with the ball.
Look at that from Manasardi. He's made a huge burst to turn this in from back to front, from defence to attack. Aidan McGrath looked to be fouled. That's his first contribution, and a vital contribution, it must be said as well, because he's inside the arc. It might only be one, but it's the chance to equalise for this game again.
Yeah, and you know, Aidan McGrath is a very experienced player. A couple of years ago, he was their centre back all throughout the championship, and you know, a wise head there. He did the right thing. He drew the foul, and this is a very, very scoreable free for Éire Óg now. And you know, if they were to put this over, it levels up the game.
It does indeed. And what can they do? It'll only be level for the fourth time in the contest. Mark McInerney, he put these over in his sleep normally, but this is a county final, so you never know what'll happen. He does float it over. It's a fifth point for him, and there's another substitution coming here for Éire Óg. They're not going to rest on their laurels. They may have reeled in a 4-point deficit, but they're looking to push on here. And looks like Gavin Cooney is ready to come on as well here. So Gavin Cooney has made a former captain here, a double back-to-back winning captain of the Jack Daly, and this Gavin Murray going to come off.
Yeah, and I suppose we spoke before the game about would Gavin Cooney see any game time today, and we didn't expect it because he hasn't been around for very long. We kind of thought maybe the only way it would be is if they were under real pressure from Doora Barefield, and they certainly are. You know, we would have taken this before the game. 9 minutes to go and the scores level. We'd have been delighted with that. And look, Gavin Cooney back on the field now, and it's going to be a real exciting last 10 minutes.
Yeah, and Diarmuid Boyle as well, brother of Owen. He's come on for the goal score, the double goal score, must be said, in Odrin O'Connell as well. He certainly gave a great shift, that's for certain. And his elder sister Shifra will be down in Melbourne cheering him on here, but she's going to have to see how her native St. Joseph's Doora Barefield go. Herself and Aisling Reedy, I'm sure, are tuned in to Clare GA TV here. Now, what can they do? Nicky Hardiman gets it away, but it's Kieran Russell, but he's immediately swarmed up by Liam Clune. Liam Clune is a great final here so far, but there was a couple of kicks on the ground. The one on Mark McInerney from Joe Rafferty earns a free, and now Éire Óg looking to try and go ahead. They went ahead in the opening 3 minutes of the second half when David McNamara put over, but they have been trailing ever since, because it has been a long slog to try and even get back level here. But one of the guys that has helped that is Ike Maguire. He gets it off to Jack Joyce, another one that probably inspired this fight back with his 2-pointer. And Aaron Fitzgerald coming up from the back again, just as he had done so many times before. The captain, he's going to give it off back over here to Dean Ryan, and this is much more familiar territory for them, Kieran, and they're going to make a little burst here. Just as we mentioned, it is Jack Joyce. He's got 2 points already. That 2-pointer, he had the coolness to give it off to Jared Collins as well. Mark McInerney, one dummy. He's trying to go on the right side, and they won't let him on his left today. That's one thing for certain from Doora Barefield. Now, Kieran Russell, can he get a score? It would be a vital one at this stage. Ike Maguire has got 2 already. He gives it off to Jack Joyce, and Jack Joyce, they're just going to wait for the perfect opportunity, Kieran. And now that they have the confidence is back up, they won't be afraid to shoot here.
Yeah, they look a lot like their old selves now once they've got back on level terms, and they're playing with confidence now again, and that's a fantastic kick from Ronan Lanigan.
He's only made his second start. He's supposed to be a defender, but that's as cool a score as you're ever going to see. And if they are to go back into the lead, what a man to do so. What a time to get it to. We're 23 minutes in to the second half, and for the first time in 19 minutes, Éire Óg are back in front, and they couldn't have picked a better time, Kieran.
No, fantastic finish from Ronan Lanigan, and he's a really, really important player for Éire Óg. I think if Doora Barefield are going to have a shot at winning this now, it's their 2-point ability is really going to have to come into play, because they're not creating the same amount of chances that Éire Óg are, and they're going to have to be more efficient with them. But we've seen that in the last 2 games, that they have the ability to kick those 2-pointers. They kicked 2 in the second half, so hopefully they'll be able to work some positions for that.
Some great physical tussles down there at the moment. It's all on the line here as we head in towards the last 5 minutes of this final. Éire Óg have got 5 points in a row to take back the ascendancy here. There was a couple of 50-50 shoulders there. Ronan Lanigan even shouldered his own man to get out of the way there. But that is all part of this. Everything is on the line here in the last couple of minutes. There's only a point between the sides, but crucially, it is the champions that are in the ascendancy. They're going for back-to-back titles, and they're 4th in 5 years. Can they do so? Well, they're going to hold on to possession here for certain. Doora Barefield need to get their hands on the ball and get it down the other end of the field, because Aaron Russell has bombed forward with every available opportunity. And look who else is in the forward line. It's Dean Ryan. They're saying if Ronan Lanigan can pop up with a score, we're not going to be beaten by that if we're going to get up there as well. It just shows the fluidity of Éire Óg, though. Dean Ryan, Aaron Fitzgerald, 2 guys you're expecting to be keeping out the goals, are right up there in the full forward.
Yeah, they're leaders on the team. They're very experienced players. They've been around the block a long time, but you can see they're constantly talking. They're directing operations, pointing in directions to make runs and things like that. And yeah, they're a massive part of this comeback for them.
And will this man be a massive part? But Gavin Cooney, not on this occasion anyway, because he's just had his first shot at the post in quite a while, and just goes to the right and wide. It's a 3rd wide in the second half, and 9th overall for Éire Óg. They won't be too perturbed with that, because as we head in to the last 5 minutes here, they are a point to the good. A situation that didn't look as rosy only 10 minutes ago when they were 4 behind. Now Jack Joyce, what an impact he has made so far. He gets it off to Cooney. Cooney's had a shot, but Jack Joyce has had a successful shot so far. He gets it off to Ike Maguire. He's got 2 points in the championship. He's got Aidan McGrath inside him. He doesn't need Aidan McGrath. He's going to look up. Can it be point number 3? Definitely not. That has gone to the right and wide, and an opportunity to put 2 points between the sides, and it's a let-off for St. Joseph's Doora Barefield.
Yeah, and it's a 10th wide for Éire Óg. They wouldn't normally have that many in games, but Ickham really will be very disappointed with that. It opened up for him. He threw the dummy. He was 13 yards out straight in front of the goals, and he'd be very, very disappointed with that one.
I'm just not sure he knew he had that much time on his hands. I think he nearly would have gone for a goal chance for a finish if he had known. There's going to be another substitution here. It's all hands on deck here. Charlie Hannon, another one of those famed Hannon brothers, is on the field. He comes on for Liam Clune, who has certainly had a brilliant game here. His very first final, but you would have never thought of it from his performance. So congratulations to him. Now, can they be congratulating him at the final whistle? Because it would mean the St. Joseph's Doora Barefield have to get themselves back into this tie. There's 4 minutes of normal time remaining. They're down a point. It's not insurmountable, that's for certain, but they're going to need to get the ball down the other end of the field, because a lot of the play in the last 10 minutes, Kieran, has been down in their own half.
Yeah, it is. There's soaking up a huge amount of pressure. They haven't really created many shooting opportunities in the last 10 minutes, but you know, maybe they've conserved their energy and they're on the attack here.
Well, they certainly gave it all, and look at this inside. It's Charlie Helen. Oh, for a second there, it looked there. Look who was back there. Ike Maguire. He had the shot in the post there. Ronan Lelligan nearly lost his shorts in the tackle there, but they're going forward. What an interception from Ike Maguire. I mean, that's what you call a team performance.
He's just basically stopped a goal chance there for Doora Barefield. That was absolutely sensational. He had the point chance at the other end, and he comes back to his own 13-yard line and gets in a vital challenge on Charlie Hannon, because if Ickham didn't get his hand in there, Charlie Hannon was one-on-one with Keane Howard, and it looked like it would have been a seriously good goal opportunity. And you know, that's the turning point in a game sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. Will that be the chance of the turning point or the decisive moment in these closing stages? Because we've had some really, really dramatic moments. Most of them have been thwarted at the Doora Barefield goal, that's for certain, especially in that opening half. 3 gilt-edged opportunities that Aero didn't take. St. Joseph's Doora Barefield took both of those, and it put them into a really advantageous position. But now it's Aero that are ahead. They're only a point in front, but there's no better team to be able to close out a contest than Aero. Now, what can they do on the ball here? They're going to be patient with it, and it's back to that man, Ike Maguire. He's impacted at both ends of the field. Kieran Russell gets the ball inside to Dean Ryan. Dean Ryan, can he get his name on the scoreboard? No. There was a roar from the crowd that suggested it was going to go over the bar. I think that maybe the supporters wished it to go over, but it didn't quite go over.
You certainly wouldn't have expected Dean Ryan to be the man on the end of that move. You know, 20 yards from goal, straight in front of the goals. A fantastic dink pass from Kieran Russell. Beautiful pass, and you know, Dean Ryan probably will be very, very disappointed with himself that he didn't do better there.
Kieran, we're coming up to the last 2 minutes. Who do you think could be our man in the match here? I know it's difficult because there's only a point between the sides.
I suppose, look at it, there's been some big performances on the Doora Barefield team. You know, Odrin O'Connell, as we mentioned, Michael Nash. I thought Fionn Keller has been very good, and Dara O'Shea. But inspiring this kind of second half performance from Éire Óg, I would think maybe Kieran Russell would certainly be a serious contender at this stage.
Kieran Russell, the man, the match, but can they put the ice on the kid? Oh, it's Gavin Cooney! Gavin Cooney has done it! And winning goal, surely you'll have to say, in a counter-attack from Mark McInerney. They turned it over there just inside the 60-metre, and it's gone all the way through, and Gavin Cooney putting the coup de grace on another great performance here. Éire Óg get their first score, but it's decisive. It's the last minute of the game, and what a score and what a time to get it.
Yeah, look, you couldn't write a script. Gavin Cooney just back for this final. Wouldn't have been expected to feature. Comes on captain for 2 of their Jack Daly winning triumphs, and comes in and puts the icing on the cake for them, and it looks like he has won the game for them now.
Yeah, it looked to be game, set and match. Will it be though? Because it's not over yet. St. Joseph's Doora Barefield, unfortunately, now have conceded the last 1-5 in a row, and it is, he touched that ball on the ground. Unfortunately, Keane McDonough, he scrambled to try and get it, but he did touch it on the ground. Now, what is the going to be the additional time, which will be crucial in terms of St. Joseph's Doora Barefield? They were 6 to 8 points up, 4 points behind. Now it's Éire Óg that are 4 points ahead, an 8-point turnaround. It has been a remarkable that only the champions could do in this final quarter. Now, 15-minute turnaround here. What can Éire Óg finish the job? Can the double seems to be back on all of a sudden, and it's Kieran Russell, that man again. He's been voted as the man of the match, and what a performance he's had both days, both Sundays. And Gavin Cooney, if there's ever to be a comeback, that had to go down as one of the greatest, because he's after getting what could be potentially the winning goal here. Ike Maguire on the ball. Ike had to be close to that man of the match performance as well. Jack Joyce as well, another huge performance. He had a great dummy there, gives it off to David McNamara, and for Éire Óg now it's just about running down the clock, no matter how many time is left.
Yeah, I think so. You know, they've weathered the storm, and they've only really in the last maybe 2 minutes kind of taken complete control of this game. Doora Barefield were right in it, but unfortunately the last 15 minutes of the game they've struggled really to create too many chances. I think Tom McDonald going off for them was a huge blow, because because he had, it was, and you could see heads go down when he went off, because they were well on top at that stage, but they've really struggled to create chances since, and Éire Óg didn't panic. But what I like about Éire Óg is the impact off their bench. Jack Joyce came on, kicked a 2-pointer, Aidan McGrath came on, won a free, and Gavin Cooney comes on and gets a goal to seal the game, and that's what you want from your bench. They have to make an impact, and they certainly got that today.
Yeah, 4 minutes additional time has been issued, and we're already a minute of that elapsed. David McNamara just showing the spirit there. He's been taken off, but he actually won that free. That has offered Mark McInerney the opportunity to score another 2-pointer. It would be his third of the game, and what a time to do so, because it surely would be the sealing moment of this remarkable year for Éire Óg. Mark McInerney, can he make his mark on the championship? Game, set and match. A 2-pointer for Mark McInerney, and suddenly it is a 10-point turnaround in the final quarter for the champions. 32 minutes in, there's 2 minutes left, but that looks to be unassailable now, Kieran.
Yeah, unfortunately for Doora Barefield, I think it's game over now, but they keep going until the final whistle. They've certainly given a massive performance here today, and they can take great credit from it. An awful lot of people wouldn't have given them much chance coming into this game. They took the game to the champions, and up to 2 minutes to go, they were one score within this game, and it's something massive for them to build on. I know the game isn't fully over yet, but I think they'll take a lot out of this, and they're going to be a serious force going forward.
Absolutely, and two of those instrumental players for Éire Óg, Dean Ryan and Nicky Maguire, linking up, as is Kieran Russell. And no better team now to try and close out this contest, because they were 4 points down by the 44th minute. You go now, we're in injury time, and they're 1-15. Oh, can there be another score here? Because Aidan McGrath, there is. It's going to be an 11-point turnaround now, because Aidan McGrath has just added to that tally. Another one of the substitutes, and he has ensured that now they've scored 1-8 without reply. That is phenomenal stuff, Kieran.
Yeah, and basically that's 1-4 coming from their bench. So with the free that Aidan McGrath won as well, that's probably the difference. The strength in the panels. The two 15s were very, very close, but the players Éire Óg were able to bring on were definitely the turning point.
Yeah, and Cian Howard, he hasn't touched the ball in quite a while, and that just shows how the momentum, the pendulum has swung completely up the other end of the field. Doora Barefield gave an absolute massive shot, that's for certain. They were 4 points up as they were heading into that last quarter, but couldn't sustain it over the entire hour. And I think that Jack Joyce, I can still go back to that Jack Joyce 2-pointer when they were 4 down. That was the real spark to ignite the entire Éire Óg comeback.
Yeah, that was massive, and they made those 2 substitutions, Jack Joyce and Charlotte Collins, early in the second half. They didn't wait. They saw things weren't working, and they got the impact from it. And while I don't think the scoreline is a fair reflection on Doora Barefield's contribution to the game, I don't think they deserve to be this far down. But once Éire Óg got on top, there was only going to be one winner, and that's the difference between champions and contenders.
Absolutely. Down below us here, Colin Loughlin is there. Éire Óg are the champions once more for the 4th time in 5 years. Éire Óg are the Clare senior football champions, and remarkably have also done the double, hurling and football at senior level in the 1 year. It hasn't been done for their club since 1929, when the Ennis Dalles did so, and a remarkable year. This has been a phenomenal year for the red and white of Éire Óg, Kieran.
It's absolutely massive. To do the double is unbelievable. I saw it once with Cratloe doing it there in I think it was 13 or 14 when they did it. This is a huge achievement. I think the pressure on them to win the hurling one was huge, but it seemed to maybe the pressure got to the footballers a little bit, because they certainly weren't in their free-flowing form that they've shown all throughout the championship. Obviously lost a star player in Colin Walsh as well, but to do the double, they've now gone to the top of the Roll of Honour in Clare football. They've now got 22 championships, and look at, they're still a young team. They're the team that every other team has to try and chase and get to the level that they're playing at. Doora Barefield certainly showed that they're capable of living with them, and there may be maybe 1 or 2 more players they come into that, and they'll be a stronger force, because they're certainly a serious force in the Clare Football Championship. And considering they came through the group stages without having won a game, once they got to the knockout stages, they were a different team, and it's all about peaking at the right time and timing your run, and they did that, and they played a huge part in one of the best county finals we probably had in a long time.
Yeah, no no worries about the entertainment value. This was absolute breathtaking stuff from the start to the finish, with Doora Barefield more than playing their part in that final. And we're going to go down to Peter at pitch side in a moment's time. But just to mention the 8 players that in 1929 for the Ellisdale Cashins that did so. Tull Considine was the leader. We all know about Tull. Paul Cronin, Larry Blake, Michael Micko Malone, Joe Madigan, Tony Topper Morrissey, Jackie Duffy and Jackie Darcy. They've been replaced by 8 more today that played their part in the 2 finals in Aaron Fitzgerald, Kieran Russell, David McNamara, Oren Cahill, Darren O'Brien, Darren Maroney. You had Jarlath Collins and Niall McMahon as well. Well done to them, thoroughly deserved on this double achievement. It has been a fantastic couple of years, or a couple of weeks for the Aero Club, and we're ready to go here because I think Peter has the top scorer in Mark McInerney with him.
And joined now by Mark McInerney. Mark, you were really put to the pin of your collar there. Unbelievable second half.
Yeah, look, we expected that, you know. Mr. Barefield have been putting us very, very close the last number of years, and geez, that was probably the closest. We just kept missing chances, but they took theirs and they stuck in it. They fought so hard, but you know, it wasn't going right for us, but we regrouped and we got it over the line, thank God.
I think you found something today, Mark, that you really had to dig deep. It wasn't even about maybe the quality, it was about just finding something else. You were tested in a lot of ways, and you did find the answer eventually.
Oh yeah, look, we just every man there stood up when it came down to it. When it hit the fan there, lads stood up and gave it all for us, and you know, we're just delighted to get over the line. It's just a relief more than anything after that.
The bench made a difference as well. Jack Joyce came on, kicked a great 2-pointer, and then Gavin came on and did what he does best.
I know, yeah. Look, Jack Joyce is one of the most talented fellas that I ever grew up with here, and he's just hasn't really got his chance for the Rogue, but when he came on there, he had the confidence to go for that 2-pointer, and it was an unbelievable score.
Who's the better left foot, yourself or him? Good battle.
I'll take it.
Just finally, Mark, incredible feat to win it again, and of course the double as well for Aerogue. So what a week it's been.
Oh, it's absolutely unreal. You know, you see the elation on lads' faces last week when they were under hurling. It was unbelievable, and it's great to see the club spirit we have here. You know, everyone is so tight, and that just brings us tighter, and it's absolutely unbelievable to win the double. You know, unfortunately, I'm not a hurler. I'm absolutely no good at it. I wouldn't get anywhere near that team. But
you're not bad at football, in fairness.
Yeah.
Just a very last thing, and okay, it's very, very early to be asking this, but you know, Munster is something that I'd say you'll be looking to do something in.
Yeah,
I know with the two of you out, it'll be a bit tricky, but
yeah, look, you know, before the season started, we just focused on Clare, and whatever comes after that is a bonus. But look, looking back in the last few years, we've been in the Munster Championship. We probably haven't performed very well, especially last year here against Lockmore. We were lost to the better side, and then Finbars before and O'Rahilly's we were quite close. But look, we're going to give it a right rattle here in both codes, and it'd be nice to get a double in Munster as well.
Fair play to Mark. Enjoy. Nice one.
And thanks to Mark McInerney as well, he ended up being the top scorer of the entire championship here. He got 334 in the championship, and what a worthy champion Mark McInerney is, Kieran. He has had a phenomenal year for county and club, hasn't he? And this was the culmination of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's Mark McInerney's best year in football. You know, he's always been a very, very important player for Aerogue. This year he stepped up as being probably the player of the year for the county team. I thought he was excellent all throughout the championship. His work rate has really come on hugely. You know, he gives everything for the cause. Today when Aerogue were struggling, he was the man that came up with 3 2-pointers in the game, which were massive. And you know, as you said, a worthy top scorer in the championship. I think he gets his 4th championship medal today. He's still 3 behind his father, but I'm sure he's going to chase that down because he's a young man and he's got plenty of time on his side.
Yeah, and he hasn't lost one. That's the most important thing. That's That's the crucial factor in all this, and Éire Óg haven't lost a final. You know, it has been, you know, they didn't get to the final obviously in 2023. They were knocked out on penalties by Cracklow, but like ever since then and before that even, you know, they have been the dominant force, and 4 final appearances and now 4 final victories. You can't argue with that.
No, it's a superb record, and I think what shows about Éire Óg today is because they came through this championship very, very probably in second gear most of the way. You know, they weren't really tested. They had comfortable wins all the way through in the group stages, quarter-final and semi-final. Suddenly today they came up against a serious test and they were chasing the game. And that's when you see what champions are made of. And they sprung the bench and they got the impact from it. And in the end, they ran out deserving winners because they created more scoring options. They had more players capable of getting the scores. But what they had was leaders. When they had, as you mentioned during commentary, Aaron Fitzgerald coming up the field, Kieran Russell, Ickham was superb again today.
Yeah. And we're delighted now that Shane O'Daniels, he won one as obviously the player last year. Now he's going to be winning his first as a manager, and he's down there with Peter.
Thanks, Owen, and we're joined by the victorious Éire Óg manager, Shane Daniels. Shane, I asked you how was the heart. How is it?
It's not great, I tell you that, it's not great. But listen, absolutely delighted to come away with a win. Yeah, it was hard stopping there for a lot of it. We had to dig deep, and I've said this about this team, you know, I think people have been saying it about us all year that, you know, we haven't had to dig deep, and this team is full of character. It's characters all over the pitch. I went in at half time, I was happy enough because, in fairness, Doora Barefield were putting it up to us and had a brilliant first half, but I knew it was more in us and I knew the character of the lads would shine through.
And that was it today. It was, they had to find something that maybe hadn't been tested all year, but when it was put up to you today, they did have the answers.
Yeah, and it's brilliant. I've been saying this all year. We want teams to come out and put it up to us. We want teams to have a go. We don't want teams to sit back and try and keep the score down. Come out and have a go. Like, our lads they're absolutely amazing. There's 12 or 13 of them going week in, week out for the last number of weeks. Anything you ask them to do, they do it. They don't complain, they don't make excuses. Everything they've done all year has been exemplary, and I'm very proud of them anyhow.
The bench as well made a difference. Jack Joyce, what a 2-pointer, and then Gavin burying a goal as well.
Listen, I've said it all year. Yeah, I've said it all year. The hardest part of my job all year has been picking a team. We know the guys we have on the bench and leaving them off. Who am I to say they're not good enough to play? But we try and keep, you know, the camp as hungry as we can, and when they're asked to come on, in fairness, I think we got 1, 3 or 4 from our bench today, which is phenomenal.
You'll enjoy this, Shane. It's an incredible achievement for the club to win a double. Last done by Ennis clubs in 1929, so it just illustrates what an achievement it is.
Yeah, listen, it's a massive achievement, and I suppose it's not for the senior footballers or senior hurlers to kind of celebrate, but it's for the club as a whole. It's absolutely fantastic. And, you know, I've been saying that we've been on a journey for the last 3 or 4 years, and we've trained really hard, and the hurlers have been on that journey as well, and they broke through the door this year. They're a fantastic team, and that's what we want. We want to see as many Éire Óg teams win as we can.
And just finally, the amount of young people, children, teenagers around here, it's a huge thing for them as well, and it's showing them the way.
Yeah, listen, that's what you want. Children. Yeah, that's exactly what you want. You want the academies involved. You want everybody from Ennis thinking about GA football, whether they play for Éire Óg or play for St. Joseph's, Doora Barefield or the Banner or whoever it is. You just want young people involved in GA.
Brilliant. Shane, well done.
Thank you.
Congrats. Sound job.
Thanks.
Thanks very much.
Congratulations to Shane Daniels as well. We're already here for the presentation. The crowd are coming towards here. It's a sea of red and white, and why wouldn't there be a first double for the club since the Ennis Dalcashans in 1929. 96 long years it has taken, but what a time to do so. Hurling and football in successive Sundays. It has been an absolute masterclass of a year for Éire Óg, and the amount of dual players that they've had, the camaraderie and the cooperation from hurling and football managers as well. And Kieran, you'd have to say, look, we've had the last time the double was won by Cracklow in 2014, they had to go out the following day and play against the Waterford champions. There's a month to the first Munster club game for Éire Óg. That's an absolute goldmine for Éire Óg to not just celebrate this, but then recharge the batteries again.
Yeah, and I suppose they can properly celebrate the hurling one from last week as well now, because obviously for a lot of those players, celebrations would have been put on hold until this week. So I'm sure they're going to have a right good night tonight and a few days maybe during the week. But look, they're not out in Munster Club, they're out in football first, 9th November against the Waterford champions. So it gives them, they can do what they need to do this week and get back training, and they've got a couple of weeks to prepare, and that will be massive. And I hope the whole county gets behind them now in their Munster campaign, because look, they're representing Clare, and we'd like to see Clare football doing well in the Munster stage, and hopefully they can.
Yeah, we'll head down to Kieran Keating and the presentation here as they're about to crown Aaron Fitzgerald and Éire Óg as the Senior Football Championship champions for the 4th time in 5 years. And first of all, they're going to give the player of the game to Kieran Russell. And thanks to our sponsors in the Templegate Hotel here for the sponsor of the game. And we hand you over to Kieran Keating.
Me Brown. Our competition sponsors, TUS, award the man of the match. Jimmy Brown from TUS is here, so he's going to present the trophy to Kieran. I'd just like to thank TUS for their sponsorship of our senior football, senior hurling and intermediate championships. Thanks, Jimmy. No. Mark McInerney. Mark, can you come up, please? Mark. So Mark McInerney was top scorer in the championship. He had another 7 or 8 points today to his tally. Well done, Mark. Christy Ryan, on behalf of Martin Donnelly from My Club Shop, presenting the trophy. Thanks to Martin for sponsoring that. Well done, Mark. Okay, without further ado, first of all, I'd just like to thank a few people. Again, I'll mention our ground staff here having the pitch in such great order for today. Thanks to David Hoey, to Mick Dunn and all the lads for the work they do all year. Thanks to those that make today possible and make today enjoyable for everybody. The Civil Defence, Clare Civil Defence help us out all year long in our championship games here. Thanks to the lads from Civil Defence for supporting us and helping us whenever we have injuries and whenever we have incidents around the park. The Tulla Pipe Band, who entertained us before and during both games today and have done so on many occasions. Thanks to all the lads in the Tulla Pipe Band. To our competition sponsors, TUS Midwest and Jimmy Brown, support us in sponsoring both the senior football, senior hurling and intermediate football and hurling championships. And well done to TUS, and thanks to them for that. To Doora Barefield, a young team who came in today with I suppose no weight of expectation, and they gave it a right lash, scored a couple of great goals in the first half and really put it up to Éire Óg and put it up to them for 3/4 of the game maybe, and eventually Éire Óg saw it out, but they were well tested today and well prepared for what comes ahead of them in Munster by what Doora Barefield did today. So well done to St. Joseph's Doora Barefield. But the Townies were on a mission. Once they achieved part 1 last week, they were determined that part 2 would be achieved today. It's a double, but in terms of the senior championships, it's a double in terms of back-to-back Jack Daly's. They collected this trophy this new trophy last year for the first time. So without further ado, it gives me great pleasure to present the Jack Daly Cup to Aaron Fitzgerald, captain of the Fiorna of Éire Óg, Ennis. Well done, Aaron. Double bubble, baby! Come on! Conor Storm and Curran Jack Daly Glocker, Erson Fern, Ennis! I won't keep you as long as Reedy kept you last week, so I'll get straight to it. To our sponsors, Clare Hire, Tony Honan, Lee Miniter, Enda Howard and Tail Security. And also a special thanks to Paul Madden, Francis Daniels and of course Shawnee Lyne and the whole Lyne family who stuck with us through good times and bad. It's not something we take for granted, so thanks a million. To St. Joseph's, Doora, Barefield, lads, I've been on the losing side of a county final. It's not a nice place. You're a young and full of energy team, so keep working hard, and I haven't a doubt in my mind that you'll make it back here again, lads. So, big round of applause for them, lads. To the county board, the field is, as always, in immaculate condition. Everyone behind the scenes that accommodates our game, we'd just like to thank each and every one of you. To Niall and his refereeing team, fantastic job as always, and we hope you continue reffing for many years. A dark cloud was cast over our club in the past couple of weeks, and especially the O'Brien family. Let this double be the shining light that ye need forever. Forever remember Bernard and this week. To everyone who sacrifices anything so we as a team can succeed. To our mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters and grandparents, and most importantly, wives, girlfriends and children. We wouldn't be here without ye, and we'd like to thank each and every one of ye. To our management team, I wrote it down this year so I wouldn't forget it. Shawnee Buckley, Morris Brosnan, Alan Malone, Mike Carmody, Tom Russell, Rory Hickey, Callum Daniels, our physio Neely, and of course Elliot. A special shout out to David Russell, who's fighting a huge battle himself and hasn't left our thoughts in the last number of weeks when we needed that extra drive. But to the man who gels everything together, a legend most of us know to play with, and we had a pleasure to soldier beside him. And now he's a legend as a manager, and he's a pleasure to go to war for. That man is Shane Daniels. To all the volunteers in Éire Óg, these are the days we live for. The thankless work ye do for every team in Éire Óg sometimes goes unnoticed, but today is as much yours as it is ours, and we can't wait to celebrate with each and everyone up in Éire Óg. Come on, the Tony!
Well, the Canon Hamilton is being joined by the Jack Daly for the first time in one parish since Cracklaw did it in 2014, and you're about to see the celebrations here for the double winning side. Éire Óg are the champions. They're top of the pile in Clare in hurling and football, and by God will they enjoy that over the next couple of weeks. There's a couple of the dual players that didn't get an opportunity to fully celebrate the Canon, but you're about to see them really lift the Jack Daly here with Aaron Fitzgerald, the captain. And here they are the double winners. What an absolute brilliant achievement it has been for Éire Óg. A special word to David Russell, who made his way back in his own battle, it must be said, in the last couple of weeks, but fantastic to see him as part of the management here with Shane Daniels and Alan Malone and Shawnee Buckley, and they have been instrumental here in that management team. Looking across at Shane Daniels was on the management team even if he's a player You have the continuity of Shawnee Buckley as well. Alan Malone, obviously a very steady hand, and David Russell, a vast number of experience as well in both management and play.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, David Russell being a very successful manager with Avenue in the soccer. Shane Daniels, as you said, a selector under Paul Madden, and you know he did things. He was very smart in what he did. He didn't change very much. You know, why would you change a winning formula? He had to bring in some new players because you know they lost some very experienced heads from last year. But it really was seamless. You know, they continued on from where they left off last year. Played fast, counter-attacking football, and some very, very good forwards. And they put up big scores, and they're the one team in Clare football that they're always capable of getting goals, and they scored an awful lot of goals throughout the championship this year.
Yeah, and look, it's funny because Aaron Fitzgerald last year, when he lifted the title, lifted the cup for the very first time, from his point of view, after Gavin Cooney had done so in the previous 2 times they won it, he said there's certain people out there that doubted us. I laughed at him after and said, I don't know who those people are, and they should be shot themselves. But there was no one doubting them this year.
No. Look, they've been the favourites from the word go. We saw them in the first game of the championship. They opened their defence against Cratloe, and Cratloe gave them a good battle in the early stages, but they showed their class and they pulled away and they won comfortably, and they won all their games comfortably. And the first real test they faced was today. And they were tested and they had to dig deep, but they showed the mark of champions. When they were put under pressure and when they had to do it, they responded like champions. And you know, that's the quality they have. That's the club they've built and the panel they've built. And they're a young team. You know, they're all in their early to mid 20s. There's only a few over the 30 mark, and they're going to be around for a long time yet. And it's up to every other team in the county to raise their standards and try and get to the level that Éireóg are operating at now.
Absolutely, and they're going to be around for a long time for the rest of the year as well, because not only is there the under-21 championships in both codes, but they're going to represent Clare in both codes when it comes to November. They'll have a couple of weeks to celebrate that, but they are the champions, the double champions for the first time since the Ennis did it in 1929. We want to thank everyone here for the support, the production team. We want to thank Stream Sport, the sponsors in the Templegate Hotel as well for their kind sponsorship as well. We also want to say to look up on before we go to the highlights package, to thank you to the Clare GA TV crew as well. Éireóg are the champions. Let's see how they won it as we look forward to the highlights. Thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you very, very soon. What can he do from here? He's going to play inside. Oh, it's a goal! It can believe it. Yeah, well, you're right. That's absurd. Can he level it up for the third time? He can. It's almost straight over the black. Breaks away, but it's Mark McInerney that gets the ball from Murray. Kenny shrugs off two defenders. He's going to get a free anyway. Can he get it off here to David McNamara? His left foot. He puts it over the bar. It's the first.
He's a big player for them, big in height and a big value player for them as well.
They're going for 2-point free, number 10 in the championship, and he goes. Now, what can he do with it? Because he's after making great ground here. Gives it off to Nash. Nash is going for 2. He scored the winner against St. Joe. Gilmurray American. He's got 2. Fitzgerald, the captain, who's come up full back. Now, Jack Joyce, will he ever go for it? He certainly will. Not lacking confidence, and that is a beautiful score. And 2. Mark McInerney. suddenly it is they're 115. Oh, can there be another score here? We can hit McGrath, there is. It's going to be an 11-point turnaround now because Aidan McGrath has just added to that tally.
When it comes to crash repairs and motor bodywork, trust the experts at Prestige Motors Ennis. We specialise in all types of motor body repairs, with quality workmanship you can rely on. All insurance work handled directly. Your car, your choice. Proud to support local GAA. Best of luck to Doora, Barefield and Éire Óg in the county final. From all at Prestige Motors Ennis.
For driveways, patios, curbing, line marking, tar and chip, or brick and block work, call the experts at Keltar Tarmacadam, Ennis. Covering projects nationwide, quality guaranteed. Call 086 196 1618 and check out our TikTok to see our work in action. Keltar Tarmacadam, paving the way across Ireland.
For expert car servicing and repairs, visit David Costiauto Repairs, Doora, Ennis. Quality work, trusted service and great value every time. Call 065 684 0612 or 086 818 7408. David Costiauto Repairs, keeping Ennis on the road.
Refresh your home with Ennis Blinds, specialists in blinds, shutters and curtains, designed to fit your style and your space. Ennis Blinds are made with quality, comfort and tailored for the perfect finish for every window. Call us on 086 811 7373. Ennis Blinds, made for you right here on your doorstep.
NC Paint and Decor. Whatever your decorating needs are, paint, wallpaper or expert colour advice, we've got you covered.
Our island home, its waters blue and endless green, inspires colour like no other. Colour Trend paint is crafted in Ireland and designed for durability. Visit your local stockist or store for colour inspiration. Colour Trend, a world of quality in every colour.
Custom sportswear and workwear by Barefield Sports in Ennis and Shannon. From clubs and schools to local businesses, we design quality gear that looks sharp and lasts. Barefield Sports Ennis and Shannon, custom made for your team, your work, your game. Call us now on 061 364 750.
Martin Williams Concrete Products Limited is a family-run business based in County Clare, Ireland, specialising in precast concrete solutions for a wide range of industries. Over 2 decades of experience. Established in 1998, they actively listen to customer needs and continuously research innovative ways to improve their offerings. They have a strong local reputation for reliability and customer service, deep knowledge of the building sector, which they're happy to share with clients. If you're working on a building or landscaping project and need durable, locally made concrete products, they might be worth checking out.
Here's wishing every good luck and best wishes to all the great players from Éire Óg, Doora, Barefield and Queen in the upcoming county finals. Best wishes to all.
For over 35 years, Rory Hickey Electrical has been lighting up homes, businesses and industries across Ennis. From domestic and commercial to industrial projects, our trusted team delivers safe, reliable electrical solutions you can depend on. Rory Hickey Electrical, lighting up the town of Ennis since 1986.
Timmy Dooley, your Fianna Fáil TD for Clare, now serving as Minister of State at the Department of Agriculture, Food, Fisheries and the Marine, with special responsibility for fisheries and the marine. From climate action to transport, Timmy has a proven record of representing Clare at the highest levels, always working to deliver for local communities. Timmy Dooley TD, experienced, committed and delivering for Clare.
Tommy Guilfoyle, living in Clare Castle, raising a family and working every day in our community. As a trade unionist, GAA coach and active volunteer, Tommy stands up for workers' rights, better housing and stronger local services. Tommy Guilfoyle, a councillor who believes in people, community and respect for the responsibility to serve. If you need assistance, please do contact me.
Building with quality and trust. That's NS Construction. Founded in 2001, NS Construction brings over 2 decades of experience in refurbishments, extensions, fit-outs and large commercial builds. We pride ourselves on finishing every project to the highest standard, on time and on budget. NS Construction. Craftsmanship, reliability and results you can build on.
Welcome to the Temple Gate Hotel, 4-star luxury in the heart of Ennis, just steps from the bustling town centre. Relax in beautifully appointed rooms where comfort meets charm and experience true Irish hospitality at its finest. Savour local flavours in the Legends restaurant or enjoy the cosy atmosphere and hearty fare of Preacher's Pub. Whether it's a romantic getaway, a family celebration or a special event, Temple Gate Hotel is the perfect setting for every occasion. Temple Gate Hotel, your home in the heart of Ennis and your gateway to Clare and the wild Atlantic Way. Book your next stay or celebration at www.templegatehotel.com.
Another one of the substitutes, and he has